Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 476, recorded on May 2nd, 2024. On tonight's episode, we talk more Lego, Nintendo Ninja Strike Again, and more Switch 2 rumors heat up that might actually have some meat to them. That and your community questions. Jesse, cue the music.
What's up, everybody? That's right. It's episode 476 of Nintendo Dads. It is May the 2nd, 2024. And joining me on the show tonight, we have assembled the Power Rangers of Nintendo Land. Yes, the original, the four, the entire cast, not the originals, but no, it can't be the originals, but we'll just say the whole cast rides again into glory tonight. Joining me on the show, Justin Masson, how are you, buddy?
Good. When you said Power Rangers, I actually was pivoting a little bit because I was aging out of Power Rangers. I was thinking Captain Planet.
Ooh,
yeah, I know, right? That's a pretty good reference. Voltron, Captain Planet. I like all those. Like those are good reference. Now I think all those had 5 though, so we're one shy.
Yeah. Power Rangers hit for me in 7th grade.
Okay, yeah.
So there was this kid in my gym class who was really obsessed with Power Rangers.
Okay,
and he would come in every day and he would talk about, oh, the Green Ranger's there and he's got the Dragon Sword, and I was like, yeah, it just made me feel better because I was obsessed with comic books and Transformers, Nintendo, and I was like, well, at least I'm not as lame as he is.
Right, there's my litmus. As long as my bar is better than that kid, I'm doing all right. I'm not going to be like
right. So how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. It's great to be back on the show. It's been several weeks since I have not been here. I realized that as I started writing down my list of games that I need to talk about for the things that I've been playing. But it is great to be here and on the eve of Nintendo's 2024 fiscal report. Man, I am excited.
It's almost like there was a clarion call that summoned you back.
Right?
To these
yeah, exactly. The meme of, I think it was in Batman 1 or 2 when Bruce Wayne's sitting there like reading the paper and all of a sudden the bat symbol like goes through the house and he stands up. That's me, but it's like Nintendo's financial report and it's like, ooh, business, Justin.
A big dollar sign,
just a red dollar sign in the sky.
Or no, a yen sign. It's
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I
wonder if someone can make that. I wonder if someone can make that a meme for me that we could use.
Oh, awesome. I'm sure.
Come on, internet. Come on, Nintendo Dads community. I know y'all got talent. Speaking of
memes,
yeah, there you go.
Tim Wolf, the living meme. We have some business to discuss, Tim.
Yes.
As our faithful video listeners or video watchers will notice, you're facing to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And since you've joined the show, you face to the left.
Can he flip his camera? Like, is there a button to switch and zoom where the camera flips?
I think it only flips for himself, not us.
I don't like it.
Really?
I don't like it. I think you're going to have to face back to the left. It's very weird.
This is my good side. This is my better side.
Okay. How are you?
Love it.
I am doing great. I am excited to, of course, be here and hang out with you guys, of course, and talk about all these rumors. These rumors have been blowing up like crazy.
We got more rumors of Fleetwood Mac tonight.
Whoa! Wow! Wow! Ladies
I've been working on that one.
Also, if you are too young to get that reference, what are you doing here? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here.
Mecca. Mecca's like Fleetwood who?
We're going for Big Macs.
Speaking though of someone who would get that reference, Mr. Jesse Waldack, how you doing, buddy?
Fleetwood mac and cheese. What? Okay. Yeah. When Power Rangers started, I was in my sophomore year in college.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I liked it. And, not knowing what Super Sentai was in Japan that was based off of. But my first thought, this is live action Voltron and I kind of dig it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you that like, even when that kid was like, all obsessed with Power Rangers, I watched it. Like I watched it. I will. The part that I did not like was the part that I think you fall into 2 camps, right? With the old show is that there's people who really like the rubber monster Sentai fighting stuff, and then there's the people who like the Americanized drama part of it. I hate that part. I don't care about Bulk. I don't care about Skull. I don't care about these people. I just want to see colorful karate people fight putties, and
I think I agree with you.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of it was just the Pink Ranger. That's it.
Sounds like a Fire Emblem game.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to fight. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't care about
relationships.
these relationships and tea time and all this. Just let me fight. Let me fight.
Right.
Well, speaking of not caring about stuff, we've actually got a lot of news this week, which is new for us in our recent
shocking
stuff here, because we haven't had a lot of news. It's been quiet except for, like the Indie World Direct and everything. So let's dive straight in, shall we?
Do it.
Of course, our news each and every week, each and every episode is brought to you by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where you can join up with the greatest community on the internet, get access to our Discord, a full sub slate of channels at the $5 level, pre and post show audio at the $10 level, and $30 a month gets you a Patreon producer slot. You get to be on the show, you get to hang out, and you get the whole the schwack load of perks. And every person who is a patron of the show gets access to ad-free episodes, which are that's great, right? Because I've been told you can hear ads during our show for cruises, car lots, Manscaped, all kinds of stuff. You never know.
Sometimes the ads in Spanish and we don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of another benefit of maybe why you might want to be part of this Patreon community or supporting us over on Patreon or Twitch, both ways are completely probable. Tim, why might they want to for the month of May?
Because they have to, Paper Mario, right?
That's right, Tim. Fantastic segue, my friend. Wow, you're so good at this. Hey, if you're a Patreon subscriber or you subscribe to us by Twitch, you're being randomly entered into a draw to win a copy of Paper Mario. So if you are in our community, there's someone who's going to definitely win a copy of it. So yeah, that's one of the perks of it. We like giving stuff away.
What you're saying is, like, if let me throw out a scenario here. All right. Maybe you're not a subscriber right now or a patron of the show, a friend of the show. So you decide to head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and you say, you know what, for the month of May, I'll join up for $1 a month. You could have just won a copy of Paper Mario, The Thousand-Year Door.
Correct.
For $1.
Yep, for sure. For sure now, boys. For sure there, boys.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, not only do you get that benefit, but you get the benefit of being in the room with all kinds of great conversation that goes on each and every day on our Discord.
And sometimes not so great, but y'all can be winners.
Right. So, I mean, even if you want to do the $5 a month, you get the whole schwack load of sub channels, right? So you get like access to the adulting, the collecting, wrestling, there's sports related stuff in there. There's contests going on. There's always something going on in the Discord. You also get access to the table each month, monthly mayhem, y'all. And look, if you pay by the year, you get a month free. So head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Join up today if you haven't already. All right, guys, here's some news. More new Nintendo Lego sets are coming in August. I don't know about you guys, but I have just been able to start finding the Animal Crossing sets at my local Walmart. They're on an end cap. And I think most people are seeing these on the end cap. There's 4 of those sets available right now. Well, 2 more Animal Crossing sets are in the pipeline. They're going to be coming out in August. This includes Dodo Airlines, which actually looks really cool, and a highly anticipated KK slider at the Animal Crossing Town Hall. I'm seeing the pictures of these two. I'm impressed that I think that maybe they've listened to a little bit of feedback from the first wave when it was revealed. These look a lot more substantial, or they look a lot more like the buildings that they're supposed to look like. I think there's a little more emphasis on the building. Let's put it that way. There's a little more emphasis on the scenery and not just, hey, here's a tent and a camp, some chairs and an Animal Crossing figurine. Have you guys seen
There's
these?
Isabel's house though too that is actually substantial. It's pretty nice. So
Oh, okay.
but both of these I'm excited for because they're my favorites and when I play places to be when I'm playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
So
I think I'm gonna have to get the KK slider one for
yeah.
this.
Yep.
Actually, it's really cool. So yeah, these will be out in August. I imagine that they'll probably be everywhere. I was looking for some price points on these, but I'm not seeing them yet. I'm fairly sure
I
these
also
will
like
go up.
the character, I forget his name with the boat. I like that set
Happen?
too. Yeah, Captain's set. I
Yeah.
think there's a nice set too.
You know, this as far as the town hall comes with like a minivan, like the Happy Home or the
Nice.
app, you know, the
Yeah.
campsite thing. And it's got KK with the guitar and the speaker, and I think 3 minifigures for that one. And then the Dodo Airlines comes with 2 minifigures, the building on the dock and the plane. I'm going to guess these are probably going to be higher price points. I think
Right.
that up until now, I think the top one was either $39.99 or $59.99. So I expect these to go up to like the $60, $70, $80 range because of the larger buildings, the additional minifigures.
With all Lego sets, the more pieces, the more bricks in the package, the more it'll cost. They like run like 8 to 10 cents a brick usually.
Yeah, it was interesting. I just did a quick Google of Animal Crossing Legos, and came up with some images. They also have like little small ones, like one that's $6.
Yeah,
it has 29 pieces, like those little grab bags. Have we also seen and I think this is interesting and we talked about it actually when Lego announced their collaboration with Fortnite, was like those have to be blind bags, right? Like there has to be blind bags of PLE and all these folks. Have we heard blind bags for all the characters of Animal Crossing? Because is there not something like 150 characters
there are,
of Animal Crossing?
But you know, they're piecing.
Right?
The interesting thing is they're piecing these out across the sets.
Yeah.
And like one of the new ones has a cat or a rabbit that's an orange, like its name is Tangy. I know that one is kind of one that people really like.
That's a reference, right?
Yeah. So I was wrong too. The 5 other Animal Crossing sets range in price from $14.99 to $74.99, being the large one. So I imagine this town hall will more than likely be the one that's like the first $100 Animal Crossing Lego, right? Because I know, like, I don't know. They're like they've already breached this with Mario, and we're going to talk about Mario in a minute. But I know there's that even Donkey Kong, like the Donkey Kong subset for the Lego Mario. There's been $100 sets.
I'm going to be really honest. The flying with Dodo Airlines, that looks good.
It does.
Yes.
Like that one, I'm like, oh, that may actually make me.
Yeah, I may have to get that one. And here's the problem that you're going to run into. And I don't think, like, if people are wanting to, if they're wanting to collect these minifigures are like of the like individual characters like Tangy, like you know, those guys. They're gonna, especially like the guy that's with Dodo Airlines, like the Dodo, that's gonna be in that set only.
Yep. 100%.
And so you're gonna get 5 waves down the line with these, and you're gonna be going, where's the Dodo figure? Well, it was in wave 2, guys. You'll have to go back and pay your firstborn and $500 to get him.
Yeah, like legitimately, like, and it's so funny because again, and I don't know about you, but like, Animal Crossing was obviously such a pandemic thing, right? And my memory is so associated with the world on fire at that point, right?
Right.
And it was the first Animal Crossing that I played. But really, like my kids, like it's a point in time. It says memory, right? That's sort of attached to it. Mm-hmm. And like for me, like I'm like, yeah, these are nice, but all I really want is that airline. And then I want an Isabel, I want a Tom Nook, and I want a KK slider. Just the little minifigs. I'll put them on the edge of the dock there by the airlines, and then I'm good. Do you know what I mean? It's like locked in.
Friendo says he wants a Doom guy to go with the Isabel.
That's the other one.
Do you think you'll have to get that one as a custom? right?
I bet that exists. I bet that exists.
I'm sure there is. If you Googled Lego Doom guy, you can find one, and then you need to pose him like fishing while you give Isabel the gun,
Yeah.
Right.
and just Anyway,
Yeah.
so
I always loved the Lego sets.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, like I've always just wanted this one to be a little bit more substantial. Like they look a little small. And
So,
I don't think it does it. Like here, let me just say this.
Yeah,
I don't think it does them any favors by taking them and like taking the set and putting it against a backdrop like it's in the game. And you see all of the stuff that's not there when you pull the set away. So,
yeah. So if you had if you had like everything set up in sort of a condensed area that made it look like a populated village, then it would have more depth and weight to it, as opposed to like it's an apple cart by itself and it looks lonely. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it just like it looks sparse, right? And I get like you're able to put all of these together eventually, right?
Yeah.
But maybe if there was something like, and I guess you can buy these, but like the green plate, or if there was like scenery builds, like you could build a brook that ran between the two of them, and like maybe if something was hinted at in the instructions, like, hey, you'll be able to connect these together eventually and make your Animal Crossing diorama.
It's almost like you need your own like island that you can build in Lego that you can then pop these down onto. Is that what you're saying, Marty?
They also had the sets for Minecraft where you had it wasn't a particular set, but it was random pieces to where you could build your own Minecraft stuff. So I imagine they might do this also with Animal Crossing, where they give you here's pieces where you can build, extra homes or whatever. And that way,
I just
then you get a few of those extra characters in it.
That like, I think Animal Crossing is one of those things that like it has the potential to kind of be endless like Minecraft.
Yeah.
But this, I don't know, it kind of came across a little underwhelming to me. Now, shifting gears, let's talk about this. Eight new Mario sets are also coming down the pike in August, including Battle with Roy at Peach's Castle, King Boo's Haunted Mansion, the Bowser Express Train, Goomba's Playground, Soda Jungle Maker set, and then 3 sets listed as Adventures with Interactive Lego Mario, Lego Luigi, and Lego Peach. And I'll be honest, this is the first time I'm seeing this in the notes. I didn't realize that they'd announced new Mario sets too.
Yeah, and I wonder too if the Adventures with Interactive Mario, Luigi, and Peach are refreshed versions of those packages of the original Mario, Luigi, and Peach.
More than likely, because, well, I don't know. Let me take this back. Okay. The Lego site says this.
Where are you seeing this from, by the way? Link?
Lego.com.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. So the Lego site says the original set was called Adventures with Mario Starter Course. And its item number was 71360. This is a new item number. Adventures with Interactive Lego Mario 71439. And it comes with Mario, Yoshi, a pipe, like a lava block or a lava slingshot thing, Bowser Jr. in his clown car, a goal pole, and some other little like there's lots of those little scannable interactive blocks or stickers. This comes out August 1st. It is the exact same price point as the Adventures with Mario starter course. So, well, actually it's $10 cheaper. So it makes me wonder if they're retiring the old one and putting this one out instead.
That could be.
Yeah, it sounds like a refresh, just to get people.
Says let kids build towards a battle against Bowser Jr. 4 Lego Super Mario toy figures. Mario, Bowser Jr., Yoshi, and Goomba. Adventure playset. Begin at the start pipe. Greet Yoshi. Defeat a Goomba. Stomp on the question block. Take on Bowser Jr. and finish at the goal pole. So, like, it's almost like it's supposed to be more interactive, and I guess it's in the title, right? Adventures with Interactive Mario.
Yep.
I want to look up the Luigi one because I know that there'll probably be something different. Okay, so yeah, his is completely different too. In this box, you get Luigi, Kamek, a pink baby Yoshi, and a Boo.
Hmm.
And then if you do Peach, then she comes with, and all of these are the same price too, $50. Peach comes with Peach, Lucky 2, Yellow Toad, and a Lava Bubble.
Mm. You know, the ones
So
that
one of
I've
the
been the
gripes.
most
No, go ahead,
most
Justin. I'm sorry.
yeah, the ones like I think like these Mario Legos are so aimed at a very specific demographic, right?
Absolutely.
That early, right? And then I think we've got the Animal Crossing, which is sort of that mid-range, mid-age ones, and then we have got the more adult ones, right? And I think they do a
Yeah.
great job. The ones that I always really kind of like is actually the character packs, right? Where they're blind bags and they've got like little stands of like it's less than $6 or whatever, and it's like, oh, there's a Boo and there's a Goomba, and you make those, and I like those ones a lot. Those are really good little sets, I think.
Yeah. I was thinking about this is like, we bought the Mario one when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it only had like I want to say it was Mario and I can't remember. Yeah, Mario and Bowser Jr. and a Goomba. And it seemed a little I'm just saying it was a little limited in the
Sure.
beginning. It definitely felt like it was like, hey, we're going to give you just enough of this so that you'll love it and buy more sets, right?
Yeah.
These feel a little bit more fleshed out to me.
Mm.
I like that they're a $10 less price point, right? But these new ones like the King Boo Haunted Mansion actually looks pretty sweet. The Peaches, like it's 75. The Battle with Roy is 65. The Bowser Express Train is $120.
Wow.
Ooh.
But it's huge.
Huge. Big deal. Huge.
I was looking for the other ones that it mentioned here. Soda Jungle. I'm gonna have I have a feeling those are some of the cheaper ones, right?
Yeah.
Like the that's why I'm not finding them because those are toward the bottom of the list. Yeah, Soda Jungle Maker set is $55,
Oh,
but
wow.
it has a ton of stuff. It has a Wiggler, Piranha Plant. It has like a Shy Guy and lots of obstacle looking things. It looks
Yeah.
pretty cool too.
I
So-
continue to love the collaboration between Lego and Nintendo. Right. And I
Yeah.
know that like these, like, to be honest, I'm really glad that I don't have kids that these Lego sets are aimed for, because I'd be broke, like just straight out. I'm happy that they're not super interested in them, right? Because
Yeah.
I think they're deadly, and I'm excited to continue to see the partnership, right? I'm like we inevitably are going to get Legend of Zelda Lego, right? Inevitably, we're going to get probably something in the Metroid. Like, could you imagine the Metroid gunship, right? The Samus, like, there is so
Sure.
much rich content there for
Yeah.
them that it's just going to make money.
There was a
It's
Deku
just
tree
there.
that leaked with
Yeah.
the original, like some of the stuff that's
Yep.
like Rivendell from
Yep.
Lord of the Rings that's out. So I think they're just holding off on it.
Oh, for sure.
I think that it will probably come. In fact, I think that may be the next big, like Nintendo
Well-
adult collector Lego set.
Well, they announced
Nothing's
they announced the Mario Karts, right? At Mario Day. Remember?
Yeah, but you didn't see
Yes.
them. They just said
No,
coming.
that's
next
coming
year.
2025, right? But I think that's gonna be another big one too. So
I think it'll be more along the vein of what we're seeing right now. It's going to be very hands-on, very playable.
Yep.
Probably using some of the Mario stuff that's already there.
yeah. Makes sense.
Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, those are all coming out August 1st. You can see previews of those at lego.com or just Google search them. They're there as well. Moving on, respected leaker Pyoro has teased something relating to the Nintendo World Championship. And by Nintendo World Championship, we mean the cartridge that was used in the 1990 Nintendo World Championships was actually the image that he tweeted, and that was it. So it's not clear if it's an event that he's referring to or a game, but typically when he tweets, it's about maybe a 2-week delay until news comes out.
Yeah, I think in the Nintendo community for leakers, Pyoro over the last probably 18 months to 2 years has sort of made a real name for himself, being pretty accurate, right? And he doesn't engage in a lot of other discourse. It's just kind of like he'll just put out a tweet that feels a little bit cryptic, right? Or what's going on here? And then all of a sudden there's an announcement. You're like, oh, there it is, right? He's been known to do the on Thursdays when Nintendo announces the games coming to the N64, leaking that. He leaked Endless Ocean coming out a couple days before the actual, I think, direct, or the direct was announced, and then he leaked it essentially. But not like blunt. He wasn't like, it's Endless Ocean, right? It was a cryptic message, or
it was like a picture
image
of a dolphin or something like that.
Right, enough to. And so I think that this is, if we are playing the sort of Da Vinci Code game that is Pyoro, and his comments. I don't know if Jesse, if you can pull up Piero's image, maybe to share with the folks who are watching us online so they can see it as well. It is interesting. It is the Nintendo World Championships 1990 kart. There's a couple of things that people have called out on here. SW1, SW2, SW3, SW4. So people are sort of implying, was it like Switch 1, the original Switch, Switch 2, Light Switch, Switch 3, OLED Switch, and Switch 4 is now whatever, so it's staying in the Switch family. Does this mean that they're dropping this? They're in the summer going to be doing the Nintendo World Championships again? This was something they did about 8 years ago, right? Is that what they're competing against here? Does it mean it's coming to Nintendo Switch Online as sort of a or a download game because it's all remastered content? Who knows? So there's something, and we won't really fully probably know until whatever happens. And then we all look back and go like, oh, it was right in front of us the entire time, right?
It would
Or
crack me
along...
up if it's like coming to NSO and it has like something on it where you can toggle, because that's what the switches were. They were toggles for the different games.
Yep, correct.
Well, they changed the time limit between games.
Yeah. So and yeah, you even see there 18 seconds, 37, minute 15, and then 2:30, right? Plus 5. So it is interesting, and this could be nothing, but knowing Pyoro, this isn't nothing.
He's not known to tweet something just to tweet it.
Correct.
It usually has some meaning behind it when he sticks his neck out there, right?
Yep.
So check that out. Probably news about that coming pretty soon. But speaking of Nintendo, the Ninja.
Before we move on, I heard like there's some of the speculation. You're talking about some of the meanings that could be behind it. I think my two favorite ones is, one would be a really depressing one. It's just saying, okay, Rad Racer's coming to NSO. But the other one is, since the cartridge has multiple switches, is this going to be an announcement for multiple switches? Successor talk.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I was going to mention a theory that I thought would be interesting is, what if Pyoro was an actual Nintendo employee that they decided that if we're tired of these leakers, we're gonna leak specifically our own stuff and kind of guide the leakers.
I've thought that a couple times as well. Is like, inevitably, like, Nintendo's not dumb. Do you know what I mean? Like, so at what point do they begin putting out like false stories to figure out where the leak is coming from, right? And so it'll be interesting to see inevitably what happens. So keep your eyes peeled, though.
I think he's been they have, because we don't know if it's he or she, but they have said, Pyoro has said how they get their information, or it was speculated how they got their information, one of the two, is because they have access to their YouTube and can see the videos they have
that are unlisted.
That are unlisted, yeah. So in somehow, some way, I remember seeing something about that, and I don't remember the details.
That sounds like an employee,
right? So, very interesting for sure.
Okay. Interesting. Well, if they ever find out who they are, then they'll have to deal with the Nintendo Ninjas.
Good segue. Wonderful segue.
Just like GitHub is having to deal with the Nintendo Ninjas as they've struck again. They have issued a DMCA order to GitHub for hosting over 8,500 Yuzu forks and clones. To which I say, how many times does this have to happen before they get the message?
Mm-hmm.
Well, originally it was just to get rid of the Yuzu project, and so that was easily done. But then, since people saw this coming, they forked and cloned it into their own GitHubs before the master was taken down, and now this, which requires an additional DMCA to go after these other copies.
Yeah. Nintendo don't miss, right? Like they do not mess around. So, yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Let's talk about a few release updates and things that are coming up soon.
This is, I know we're going to go to this first one. Endless Ocean today coming out. This is interesting. This is the first game on Nintendo's new series of releasing games on Thursday as opposed to Friday. This is the first one through a Nintendo published game. And of course, that being Endless Ocean. The next one, actually, Paper Mario, and that's releasing on Thursday as well. So they've moved their release date from the traditional Friday to Thursday. Not 100%
Why do you think
sure.
they've done that?
Not a clue. Not a clue at all. I don't know if there's some sort of sales data that says like this is the best time to engage people or word of mouth. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. But I also remember like
for us. They did it for us.
They did it just for us, right?
Yep.
But I also remember like when
they're making Fridays available for the new systems games.
Yeah, I also remember like going down to like Walmart and getting Super Smash Brothers for the Wii on a Sunday. So they've kind of gone all over the gambit at different times.
Remember they used to do that because I picked up the original version of Skyward Sword for Wii on a Sunday.
Yeah. So
and the Wii U released on a Sunday.
Yep. Not 100% sure why they've moved this way.
It is weird, but yeah. So Endless Ocean Luminous is out right now. As we record this, we're going to talk about it a little bit later in the show because Tim's been playing it. We also have a video coming out on our channel about that. Another one we have a video coming out, or I think it's already out, and this will be out next week. It's out today actually. Sorry, Surmount, which is a weird, kind of crazy, a rock climbing.
Yeah, it's a rock climbing game,
arcadey style game.
Yeah, some interesting physics put in as well. I've been playing a little bit of it, so I'll talk about it there. But we do have a video out on our channel right now, so you can take a first look at it for sure.
Yeah, MotoGP 24 is also out today, and then out next week, Seed of Life on May 7th, and Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle Chomp Champs, which you can buy the standard edition for on May 8th, or you can pay an extra $10 for the deluxe edition, which is available now. And also notable too, and within the next week, Animal Well is coming out next Thursday. I believe there's a couple other notable releases that are coming out next Thursday as well. Like, isn't that Duck Detective game out?
No, but Little Kitty Big City is out
Kitty
next
Big
week
City
as well.
Is out next
yeah,
week?
There's a bunch of indie games that are landing on the 9th. And actually, to be honest, Surmount was actually scheduled for the 9th, but they moved it forward a week, and it was and I think their statement was like, we're getting out of the way of a lot of other bigger things.
Right.
And so I was like, that's probably a smart call.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I have Duck Detective coming out 23rd, same day as Thousand Year Door.
Oh, that's a terrible release date. Because here's the thing, you guys know this. Oh, if you're not careful, your game can get buried really fast.
Yeah. World of Goo 2, also the 23rd.
Oh my gosh. What? I don't understand. Why would they do that? Anyway.
Oh, Mikey Burgett. I totally forgot. Mikey, thank you for reminding us here. In the chat here, Mikey says, I'm surprised that Justin is containing his excitement for the video of Universal Studios' epic universe of Super Mario World with Donkey Kong Country part of the park. Yeah, that was announced today. Nintendo did announce that. Thank you for the reminder. That wasn't in our news item. Who's doing the news docket and missed that one?
Well, hold on. All they announced was that it's coming in 2025.
Yeah, that's essentially all.
It will open with Mario and Donkey Kong. So it's going to open with actual 2 rides, but it will also, they have promised it will contain all of the same Nintendo rides and attractions that all of the other locations do as well. However, I do believe that's our first time that we've ever heard what a general opening date for it, the Nintendo World part of Orlando is.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to say the following, Mikey. I think it's coming, folks. I think this is a sign that we're going to see Donkey Kong very soon. I think in the next 12 months, we get some Donkey Kong game, right? We've got the Universal Park. We just had the Donkey Kong and Mario. We had a lot of energy around Donkey Kong and Seth Rogen's portrayal in the actual Mario movie. I'm pretty sure they've greenlit a Donkey Kong only movie with Seth Rogen. I just feel it. You know what I'm saying? The DK tie is coming out. The bananas are getting ready. I think we're due, and I think we're about ready for a new Donkey Kong game, and I'm all for it. I'm excited. Could there be one of this half of the year? I could be for sure. Would Donkey Kong be one of the 7 horsemen of death to the Nintendo Switch console? Maybe. I don't know. I hope not.
If they release a Donkey Kong game where he has Kirby in it, then yes.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's just riding Kirby. Yeah. This is I'm all in for it though. I'm fingers
Kirby
crossed.
Air
I'm excited.
Ride Donkey Kong edition.
Yeah. It's a buddy cop movie kind of thing. They have to
absolutely
rescue Diddy.
So also wanted to throw out here too, like Justin said, Little Kitty Big City out next week as well. Gift is also out on Nintendo Switch next week as well. Animal Well, Seed of Life, we've already mentioned that one. But one that's coming out too, that notable ones, I think one people have waited for a little bit. Biomutant finally getting a release date for Nintendo Switch of May 14th. That will be out in just a couple weeks. And then Star Wars Hunters, which is the kind of MOBA Star Wars game that got previewed over a year ago on a Nintendo Direct, is finally going to release on June 4th across all platforms. So that's not just going to be on Nintendo Switch, so it'll be everywhere. Actually, I take that back. Looking at it right now, it's only Switch, iOS, and Android that's going to release on. So maybe there's some timed exclusivity there for mobile, or maybe it's just built for mobile.
We also had some other games announced this week as well, because it was the Indie or ID at Xbox showcase. And there was some games that came out that was announced there that are now coming to Switch that were also announced.
Nintendo did have a few announcements via Twitter.
Yeah, this
I noticed yesterday. Well, I'll mention this too while we're in the neighborhood. Since Endless Ocean Luminous released today, there will be the 40th Maximus Cup for Tetris 99 will be next weekend. It will feature Endless Ocean Luminous. Also, the weekend after that, there will be another new Splatfest, which the theme is, what would you do at the end of the world? And your 3 choices are same old bucket list or save the day. So you can choose from those. Let's see. Funko Fusion has been announced for Nintendo Switch September 13th. A new update for Disney Dreamlight Valley got announced this week.
Tales of Iron, Whiskers of Winter. That's what it was.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Also, did we know that Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance was coming June 14th, or did it just get a release date this week?
Checking. Yeah, I had June 21st.
Well, it's now June 14th.
Okay, if that got moved, I didn't know that.
Also, Smurfs, the Smurfs Dreams.
Yes, finally.
Coming to Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
We've just been waiting for that one.
Yeah, I know. Tim is, he's been busting at the seams for that one, right? Okay.
Mhm.
That's pretty much all the release date news that I could find via their Twitter. So yeah, that's all of our news for this week. So let's take a quick break for our friends to give us our good friends over at Manscaped. I don't know what
Hey,
I'm saying.
folks, Support Nintendo Dads is brought to you by Manscaped. This is brought to you, and actually, it's brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped. I got to make sure I get that right. This season, make sure you groom your carpets and the drapes with the leader in the below the waist grooming. Clean out that winter bush with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and watch your confidence bloom like the springtime flower that you are. Embrace the season, enjoying the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. That code again, NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Hey, folks, Manscaped helps you get ready for the spring, gets ready for the summer, gets your confidence back, makes you feel good. We at Nintendo Dads HQ love Manscaped products. We use them all the time. I was recently traveling, and I brought the Manscaped shed bag that carried all my stuff and included my the weed whacker included the weed whacker for my nose hairs, included my the beard trimmer, it included my deodorant. All these are Manscaped products, and I absolutely love them. And so they are fantastic products. We use them every single day. And again, that beard device is actually the Beard Hedge Pro kit, and that handyman as well, to make us look nice and clean and crisp for any kind of meetings or looking fancy. So again,
I actually got a compliment in a
manscaped.com.
meeting for
Nice.
how my beard has been nicely trimmed and shaped.
Oh, that's
So
very kind. That's wonderful.
Did you also get a raise?
Probably not. And again, big thanks to Manscaped for their continued support. Back to you.
Before we start this, I wanted to say, is that what we mentioned that one other game moved out of the way for other games coming? I think I figured out why Shin Megami Tensei moved out of the way. Because Hash Tales also comes out on the 21st. Supposedly.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah, clearing the calendar.
Yeah, they wanted to move out of the way of that release.
Yeah,
watch out for Hash Tales.
Just keep moving. Just keep moving.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's time for our question of the week. And this week, our question is this: you've been given the ability to resurrect one long dead Nintendo IP, but it comes with a cost. Your choice's resurrection comes at the sacrifice of a currently active Nintendo IP. What will you resurrect? What will you sacrifice?
Can we just for clarity, what are we defining as active? Like a game in the series has been released in the last 5 years? Is that what we're qualifying?
Let's say that a game in the series has been released in the last 7 to 8 years. So in the Switch's life cycle.
Nintendo's gone to the well for almost all of them in the last 7 years. All right, I'll go first. Sure, I got something.
Sure.
I would, if this was like taking the volcano top and sacrifice them, I would sacrifice any Wario franchise there is in a heartbeat. If I just get more Donkey Kong, I would happily kick that smelly, stinky Wario right into the volcano pit to give me any more Donkey Kong. That's all you need to do. That's mine. Pretty low hanging fruit there. Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
I'm going to be honest. Originally, it was Kirby. Originally, I was like, I'll take Kirby. I was like, no, I actually sort of like Kirby enough that I'll.
So I'll say this: Donkey Kong, I would consider valid, and it's because there's not been a new iteration of Donkey Kong on the Switch.
When was Tropical Freeze originally released in the Wii?
2014.
Yeah, like
it's been 10 years. Yeah,
it's been 10 years. By the way, that's such a great game on the Switch. Like, if you haven't, folks, what are you doing with your life?
It is. Yeah. Anybody else ready for theirs?
I think I am.
Volcano?
Okay. Though I stole this answer from one of the listeners, because I think make a new Star Tropics game,
Oh.
and we can, let's say, sacrifice a Fire Emblem.
Oh.
Wow. A Fire
Wow,
Emblem or Fire
man.
Emblem?
Well, yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
That is, I did not expect that at
That's
all
man,
from
that's
you.
such a good one.
I'm
That's
sure
such a
that
good
one's
one.
going to ruffle some feathers. But
Now, just to reference what Jesse was talking about here, Shannon Eno, one of our listeners, their answer for this question was resurrect Star Tropics and eliminate arms.
Yeah,
So
my
there you
my
go.
elimination one was going to be Fire Emblem as well. Um, so I'm with you on that one, Jesse. But
oh, really? Because
yes,
you actually play the games. I don't.
Okay.
yeah. Well, I'm fine with a break. So like they can go on a
That's
hiatus.
an infinite break, eh?
But the game they should bring back so I can get some points is Nintendogs. I need Nintendogs back, you know?
It's all
That's
about winning the yearly
Exactly.
predictions.
that's
Yeah.
and it's so funny because that's so and again, we didn't know what we you don't know what you don't know, right? Like we didn't know what was happening in 2020. We didn't know what was going to happen. But as I think of like Nintendo Switch Lights and I think of all those ones that were sold with Animal Crossing and all of that fever pitch, you can't tell me Nintendogs would not have sold like gangbusters in that time frame, right?
Especially like if they had been able to have Nintendogs during lockdown.
That's what I mean. Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Oh my
100%.
gosh. Yeah,
I'm
like let Animal Crossing be the first half, let Nintendogs be the second half of that year.
yep.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
I'm reading Reggie Fils-Aimé's book, right? And I'm almost done it, but he talks about the DS when they were launching the DS and launching it with Nintendogs and like that part of that blue ocean strategy of getting people in, and then you connect that with big Brain Age, right? And this sort of like everybody is accessible. This is so, and like I remember, and this is completely off track. I remember going up to my folks. Jody and I were married. I don't know if we even had the girls yet. I mean, maybe they were just super young. And both of my folks had bought DSs, had bought Nintendo DSs, and were playing Brain Age, and they were playing
Oh yeah.
Club 50 games. Do you remember that? Like
Yes, yep.
that
Yeah.
was and then my stepbrother had bought a DS as well. Like we came up and we didn't have a DS. And I remember my stepdad at the time, he's like, "Do you guys want one?" And I was like, "I'm not going to say no." And so like on Boxing Day, we went to Walmart and bought a DS for us to play. And so like we're all one night like at the house playing DS together. And I'm like,
Oh,
this is
that's awesome.
ridiculous. Right. But it was such a universal, and again, it's the number 2 selling console out there, right? One, of course,
So
being PS2, but like these blue ocean games, Nintendogs is such a great example of that.
so I have two. And Tim is going to say this one doesn't count because he's already putting it in the chat that F-Zero 99 counts. That does not count as a new F-Zero game.
That is a
I'm
new
sorry.
F-Zero game.
It is.
It counts as an F-Zero game.
If it is a new F-Zero game, then Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is a new Donkey Kong game.
No, it's not because that was a port.
They added
F-Zero
stuff-
99 is not a port.
added-
That is a new game that came out for
Doesn't
NSO.
matter. Doesn't matter because here's what's
It's not
happening.
a port.
Splatoon is going to the wood chipper and F-Zero's coming back. Die, Splatoon, die.
Wow.
And my other one's just as controversial. Xenoblade Chronicles to the wood chipper, codename Steam is resurrected.
Oh, name
Oh.
Steve.
Wow.
That's
Also,
how
guys,
bad-
that's
how bad I hate Xenoblade Chronicles.
That's a deep cut. Who here has Steam World or Steam World? Steam code Steam. Anyone
I do.
like
I do.
I don't remember
That
if I
was such-
bought it or if I just played the demo, but I didn't like it.
that was
and
that
I'm
was-
not, listen, can I just say, I'm not saying those things just for shock value or just to get people to comment. That's real. Take it to the bank.
I got nothing for you on that one.
I'm sorry.
That's-
Look,
wow.
you tell me how ARMS can I'm throwing this out here because somebody mentioned ARMS. Here it is. How ARMS gets one game, and this and like I kind of thought ARMS was good, right? Well designed characters, cool world, cool concept. Splatoon gets 2 games that are literally the same except for a couple of maps and some weapons. And I get it. It's sold a bajillion billion dollars, right?
Yeah.
But come on.
Arms too.
I don't think that it got a fair shake. Now we might be getting Arms 2 with the Switch 2. Who knows? But I think it needed a thing. I think it needed more time.
Oh,
More stuff here. Yes.
Mikey Burgett. Oh my gosh. Bring back Nintendo Land.
Right.
Man, Nintendo Land was such a that was such a fantastic.
It was, but I don't agree with his sacrifice.
Sure. Look at I'm ditching Wario. Listen, I am burning Wario wherever I can.
Here's the thing. I think the criticism of Wario is valid because both games that have come out on the Switch have been doo-doo. All right, they've not been great. You Get It Together, or the one where you like got shrunk down and you like ran around the screen to play the games. It was awful. This new one that was all like motion controls and stuff, and you had to stand up. It was okay. It did not get the same. It did not hit the same notes that previous WarioWare games hit.
I'm going to put this out there, like shot across the bow. I don't believe Wario has had a good game since Wario Land on the Game Boy.
Shut your mouth. God.
No, I'd say
genuinely, I don't think so.
WarioWare Twisted, I think, is where it
Did you play WarioWare or Wario Land Shake It?
Which console was that?
That was on the Wii.
I did a little bit, but didn't get far.
The WarioWare on the Game Boy Advance was really good too.
You're going to throw Wario Land Shake It out?
Okay, hold on. Wario Shake It or Wario Move? Because then they have
Wario. That was a traditional Wario game.
Smooth Moves was a traditional WarioWare game with the Wii remote, and then
Wario Land Shake It was a
platformer.
Beautifully animated.
WarioWare Inc.
Great level design.
WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games is the one I really liked on the.
I had WarioWare Smooth Moves on the Wii.
So you've never played Shake It? The whole concept of the game was you played with the Wii remote sideways, and you literally shook it to like shake coins out of enemies, to shake bags of coins out. Okay,
Wario Land Shake It, and that was on what console?
On the Wii.
That was Wii.
Yeah, no. Listen,
okay.
I was like, no,
I got you.
I'm sticking with Mario and Luigi. I'm
just saying you missed it. Okay, if you ever get a chance to play it, you should try it. Anyway, here's what some of our listeners said. David Baleka says, resurrect Star Fox, not another remake of the original game. And if I have to axe a current IP, I'll say Splatoon. Don't hate me. Solidarity. Hoots says, easy. Resurrect Kid Icarus with a sequel even better than Uprising. High bar, I know, and the Void can take Animal Crossing.
Wow.
Perhaps the only Nintendo IP I haven't engaged with.
Hoots.
Well, no wonder. No wonder he threw that into the void.
as
I also, can I just stop for a second? I love this idea of like what the Nintendo Void looks like.
Yeah.
And this like scattered horizon of IPs that have been thrown away and demolished and sacrificed.
The drain all circles down to Chibi Robo.
Yeah, this is the Nintendo TVA pruning the branches of the sacred
right, that's where I was going to go with this. Is that like the Loki garbage?
As controversial as Animal Crossing getting rid of that is, I think this one's even worse. Zablanc with I'm offended.
Oh no!
He says resurrect Punch Out and send Luigi's Mansion to the shredder.
How do I block Zablanc from our Discord for a bit? He needs to have a timeout. We need to have, you know what? We need to have a corporate meeting. We need to bring them in. I need to have some concerns.
He's been playing too much Helldivers.
Yeah. The Dads After Dark branch needs to have a real conversation and come back to HQ for some real
David Baleka responded to that with, can we save Polterpup? And yes,
sure, yes,
absolutely you can. He's adorable. Man, that's tough. But I mean, think about it. A lot of these choices that we made there were some tough things there, right?
Yeah.
But That is the nature of sacrifice. Good stuff, guys. Look, and that question, if you're listening to this, we've put that question out there on our socials on X. Go over there and answer that question. We would love to know what your sacrifice and what your resurrect is for Nintendo IP.
Well, you do you want to answer, or do Shannon's in there too, or did you already do that one?
I did.
Okay, well, we actually have some from Twitter.
Arms. Okay.
Beef Davis says Star Tropics for Fire Emblem. Honestly, not sorry. So fair enough there. Shy Guy says Star Fox Animal Crossing. So I'm gonna guess throwing in Animal Crossing to get Star Fox is what I'm sort of guessing there. And then Sonic Crafter King says Star Fox or Golden Sun for Endless Ocean.
So sacrifice the brand new game that Nintendo just put out.
Yeah, 100%.
It's to get Star Fox or go on it. Honestly,
fair.
It's fair.
Golden Sun would be a really interesting one. And I didn't remember Star Tropics was done by Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look that one up.
It was done by Nintendo, and I don't think it was ever released in Japan. It was a North American game only.
Interesting.
Did they get Star Tropics too?
I don't know. But the original one,
I've never played 2.
Was that
2 wasn't as good? I like the first one better.
So Star Tropics was published by Nintendo. Who was it developed by? Was it also developed by Nintendo?
Yeah, it was
really
developed by Nintendo. Yeah, it's basically on the Legend of Zelda engine.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like a collaboration with Square or something back then, right? As they would have.
Something that's interesting. I was thinking about this question as I had to drive to a high school soccer game tonight. It's pretty far away. And I was thinking about how and Mikey or David Bileka mentioned this in a response to Shannon's elimination of ARMS. He said, Nintendo pushed ARMS really, really hard in 2017, 2018. And 2 things that came to mind when I thought about that is, number one, Nintendo had to push it hard because that was back when they didn't have any games, right? But we said it then, or I said it then on this show way back when. Nintendo sent ARMS out to die because they sent it out 1 month ahead of Splatoon 2.
Yeah. I remember being at, this was 2017, right? So by this time we'd moved to Ireland, and I remember going over to my first EGX with Gary Gray and actually like competing in an ARMS tournament there.
Yeah.
Right. That Nintendo was hosting to have like, and I think I came in like 5th or whatever it was. I didn't do great, but it was like, they were still very much pushing it. But you're right. It was sort of, I would have loved a reality where ARMS had a couple of more months of breathing room prior to Splatoon 2 going out, because the moment they did that, they really did kind of kill any momentum.
They cut the legs out from under it.
But I think they sort of knew that potentially with Splatoon they had something, right, that was fire, especially in the Japanese market, and they wanted to make sure they were gaining traction. But like 2017 was a huge year. Yeah. You've got Breath of the Wild, you've got Mario Kart 8 coming out, you've got ARMS, you've got Splatoon Odyssey. 2, and you've got Odyssey. Like that's a
games, like
banger year.
Bang. But here's the second thing I thought about ARMS too, is that they had enough confidence, or there was enough light and heat around ARMS, that they made Min Min one of the DLC fighters for Smash.
Yeah.
And acted like it was a big deal. And then that happened. And it's like Nintendo forgot about it. Like, how many times have you seen Nintendo use key art from ARMS since Min Min released?
Here's what I will say. I don't think Nintendo is done with ARMS.
I don't either.
You will see, like, this will be a franchise again, like 5 years from now, we're in the Switch 2, and they're like, and guess what's back, right? And an arm will shoot across the screen. You're like, oh, it's ARMS 2, right? Okay, that's what it is, right? Like they invested a fair bit in that franchise. I don't think they're done with it. I think it was really unique. And so it will be interesting to see what they do with it in the end.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about a little bit more with the Switch.
Right, so I did some quick searches on Star Tropics release. Looks like it was US only originally. Europe did get it 2 years later, and no other region got it until Virtual Console on the Wii or Wii U, depending on the region. And then I looked up Star Tropics 2, and it's the same story, except for Europe never got it. It was U.S. only in '94, and then other regions didn't get it until Wii Virtual Console.
And so it will eventually come out on NSO at some point.
Yeah.
Is Star Tropics on NSO? I don't think it is it? No,
it is.
It's not.
Well,
is it?
GameFAQs says it is. Whether they're
Okay.
lying or not, I'm not sure. It says it was released in March of 2019.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is. Sorry. So, yes, because it's missing a vital out-of-game code required to progress through Chapter 4. It was the Nintendo the if you bought the physical copy of the game, which who didn't, because that's all you bought back then. Duh. It came with a letter that you had to submerge in water. It was on waterproof paper, and the letter had a code in it to do something to the submarine to get for you to get to past a certain point in the game.
And the Virtual Console versions of the game had digital instruction manuals, which had a digital letter that you can dip into virtual water to get the code.
That's fantastic. That's so cool. Well, guys, Switch 2 information appears to be linking with details on Joy-Con screen size and more. This has come out this week from actually quite a few news sources, basically stating that either developers or accessory makers have gotten hands-on time with the Switch. But the caveat is...
Yeah, funny you say it, we word it that way.
Yeah, the unit was in an opaque box that they got to put their hands in, and they could feel the dimensions and other features of the... I just sound weird saying it. They could feel the system, but they couldn't take it out of the box and look at it.
Sounds like a Halloween prank where you put your hands in spaghetti and say these are brains.
It's just, there's worms in the box. I don't know. Anyway, so here's what has been reported, and we actually have a question about this week too. So I think we'll let Justin and the rest of us circle around the drain here with this.
You do bring enough to share there, Justin.
Yeah, do you have are you eating ice cream during the podcast?
My daughter just walked and handed me a bowl of ice cream, and I was like, no, I'm good. And she looked at me like, you're a failure. I was like, I guess I'm taking ice cream then.
What kind is it?
This is cherry ice cream from Breyers.
Wow.
Black cherry.
Okay. Well,
it's very good.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right, here's the details while Justin's eating his ice cream. The Joy-Cons for the Switch 2 are said to attach to the console magnetically via some kind of electromagnet. But it also says that Switch 2 will be compatible with the original Joy-Con and Pro controllers.
But but let me be clear. The part of that is not through the attachment to the Switch, but rather the Bluetooth connection.
Yes.
And that's what I would expect. If they're going to not use rails, I wouldn't expect them to physically attach, but again, Bluetooth. Yeah.
Which I'm kind of excited about this magnet idea because it may be more sturdy, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of like that.
So the other details about the Joy-Con mentioned was that there is an additional button on the right Joy-Con, which would be below the action buttons, kind of around the home button. Not sure what that's for yet. And S.L. and S.R. buttons are metallic. So maybe a little more stability, a little more sturdiness from the Joy-Cons.
Yeah. Again, I like the idea about connecting magnetically, but I think it introduces a new way to fail.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Okay. These leakers did mention, or rumors did mention, that the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible with the original Switch, like think DS and 3DS cartridges. There will still be a USB-C port. The dock will have better angle adjustment with a magnetic. I don't know, with a metal damping bracket, which I don't know what that is either.
I think something got lost in the telephone game here is what I like to reference. Where I think,
to me, what that says is there's more clearance for it won't scratch the Switch when it goes into the dock. right?
I think it
It'll
means
be,
more of the stand on the back of the Switch because that's what it sounds like.
I
sure.
was thinking that too.
Yeah. Well, one thing I did see, they said something about the kickstand being a different kind of kickstand. I don't know. Graphically, there'll be a bump to 1080p and handheld, but it will also have an NVIDIA chip with a DLSS upscaling system. This is something that has actually been rumored for the Switch for a while.
I heard it might go to 4K docked.
I also read that, and from one report that Nintendo would purposefully underclock the Switch 2 in handheld mode
Right.
to cap its performance at a certain level for added battery life.
Yeah, we don't want Game Gear quality battery life.
Yeah. Other info states that Samsung is heavily involved in development of the console, that it should arrive by the second half of this year, which is not true. That's changed since then. And fifth generation VNAND, VNAND, which will be used for the internal memory of the console as well as cartridges. Koopa Kid 80 asks us this question, and we can include this in our thoughts on these rumors. What are the dad's thoughts on magnetic Joy-Cons for Switch 2?
I think we already answered that.
Yeah.
Well,
Listen,
I was kind of interested in what you thought the new fail might be.
Well, just, so there would be like small electromagnets on the inside of the Switch and on the inside of the Joy-Con, so that are opposite polarity. So when you attach them, they go click, and then they connect.
I hope they still make that Switch sound.
Or some sound. Maybe it'll do a zap sound. I don't know.
I wonder how they're going to keep this, because electromagnets can be pretty strong, and they're going to have to be to hold controllers on the side of a tablet. Because I mean, especially if you're having to shake or move, I wonder how many people are going to get their fingers pinched because of this. Like, how many kids are?
I wonder if it's still like the slide-in rail, but the magnet's what secures it.
But there's no click. There's no like physical mechanism that clicks. Yeah. Because I say that because the rail has been the problem with the Switch.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that if the magnets are strong enough, you wouldn't be able to accidentally remove them. There would still have to be some sort of button that you'd push, which disables the magnet, which allows it to be freed.
And maybe that's the additional button that they're feeling.
Hey, there we go.
There. That right there.
Right? Like the release button to basically release.
No, I would expect it to be in the back, similar to the current release, not the front.
As I'm thinking the Switch now and playing it, you're like,
because you need it on left and right, not just on the one side.
And maybe there are. Maybe they didn't feel that, or maybe they didn't pick it up enough, or whatever.
I think this is the Joy-Cons, I think, is the one question that I have had the most about what the new Switch is going to be. Because we know that from Nintendo's perspective, that has failed them, right? The Joy-Cons, great idea. Love the technology inside of it, but we know that there was problems with the Joy-Con. We know the quality of the Joy-Cons in regards to like drift became a huge issue. Nintendo lost a lawsuit about it. They had to do repairs for free. The Joy-Cons are something that has cost them money. Like, this is sort of the black eye in regards to the Nintendo Switch. I think the console is really incredible, really solid, but if there is a Achilles heel, it's the Joy-Cons. And so I'm excited to really see, what does this look like? How has this changed? What additional time and energy have they spent to really ensure that those Joy-Cons are like, they're not going to have the same issue again? Because they cannot go into another 7-8 year generation of a product with Joy-Cons being shite. Like, they can't do that. So I think you're going to see like some super heavy duty tech in there to really secure all of those things. Like if you hear someone say Joy-Con drift in the next Nintendo Switch, we've got a big problem, because that's been a huge issue for them.
They've got to find a way to take care of this, right?
Yeah.
Like the Hall Effect joysticks, we know take care of that. Are they willing to invest in that? Or do they think that we're willing to pay? Personally, yes, I am. I would be willing to pay a little bit more for the next Switch if the components were higher quality. Like, if I knew that I would be able to get a set of Joy-Cons that would last at least halfway through the system's life, right? And I would pay an extra $50 to $75.
So I just thought of something that kind of disturbs me a little bit. So, like, modern controllers that say they won't drift are powered by magnets inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're being held by magnetism, will that disrupt any other internal magnets, which means they may not be able to use magnets inside? I don't know. Depending on how much they can limit the direction of the magnetic fields.
It's an awful small controller to try to have to do
exactly.
That awful
especially
small.
with how strong the magnetic field would have to be.
There's some other rumors that we've seen too about this, about them not going with an OLED screen off the bat, going back to LCD, it being about an 8-inch screen, which would be larger than the original Switch's screen. Which to me says that we're getting an overall larger console. I don't think we're in Steam Deck territory yet with the dimensions.
Well,
but I think
isn't 8 inches what the Portal, the PlayStation Portal is?
I believe so.
So I think and LeBlanc says that's a great screen. So, and
there you go.
I think he said if they use the same screen in the Switch 2, he wouldn't be upset.
There you go.
The things that I'm loving about hearing here, a couple things that I think are just indicators of, I think, Nintendo doing some things really well. The fact that we're hearing that the Joy-Cons and the Pro controller still works with your existing Switch. They've done the backwards compatibility of controllers, I think, is really critical. Will they release a Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller? Of course they will, right? But at least the fact is that we've all spent how much money these controllers are like, cool, I can definitely use these again. I think, hearing them making more effort in regards to Joy-Cons, I think is really critical. I love hearing all the rumors that we continue to hear support backwards compatibility, both digitally and with your cartridge, right? So I love that. I think the commentary here is think DS versus 3DS cartridge. I think that's fantastic. Still USB-C ports, right? So all these cords that you have, you can use again, right? There's a lot of things here that says, hey, you vested time and energy in this ecosystem for the last 7 years. Let's honor that in a way that also makes you excited to make this transition to a new platform. And so I think there's a lot of things that they're doing really well there. Just kind of blunt. I'm just like, I don't want to talk about the rumors anymore. Show me the damn thing, right? Let's start breaking it down and moving from there. That to me is the thing right now that just is sort of driving me a bit bonkers. And actually maybe we'll actually like spin this into our next, it's not rumor, but discussion. So Nintendo's fiscal report is coming out next week, Monday or Tuesday, depending where you're living, right? And this is
usually Tuesday morning.
Yeah. This is their 2024 report for how they did. So what they do is they're like, hey, here's how many systems we sold, and here's how much software we sold, yada, yada. And they talk about all the great things they did that year. But what they do at this meeting is they say, and here's what's coming. Projecting for 2024 to 2025. And all they have to do right now is say, we have 2 games that we can tell you about, which is Paper Mario and Luigi's Mansion. Everything else after that is a complete blank slate. But here's the thing, they also have to provide what their projected numbers are for hardware sales. And that's going to be really interesting.
Do you remember that it was one of these investor calls or investor meetings, whatever, that we first heard about the Switch when it was called, was it Project X or NX? And the successor to the Wii U is in development.
Yeah.
And that's all they have to say here. Yep. Honestly, that's really all they need to say. I would say, Justin, I agree completely 100% with your assessment there. And I would say this, I think they need one tagline or one coda to that. The successor to the Nintendo Switch is in development and will be shown in 2025.
Yep. Yeah, and that's and to your point, like, and I do think like that, and they can put some dates around like Metroid Prime, right? They can say it's coming in Q4 or something, right? Or still in development or TBD. They give it like whatever you want, right? But they are
name not final.
Yeah, name not final, right? Whatever it is. And the other part of it is this is going to be the question, right? Like every investor who's at that meeting, every person who has stake in it and has the ability to ask the question is going to ask the question, what's the next Switch? What's the next console? And how they as an organization respond to that is going to be critical. You're going to see the market fluctuate based on it. Like this is Nintendo literally walking up to the edge and saying, they're in a situation they actually have to say something. And whether to Marty's point, it is, we're excited to show a new console later this year. It's in development with a release of 2025. Boom, boom, boom. That's a market, right? Whether they're like, yeah, and it's called the Switch 2, boom, 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 right? Or, by the way, here are our projections for how much we're going to sell in regards to our hardware. There's a lot of details that are going to be coming out of this call, which I think are really interesting for Nintendo fans. So stay tuned early next week, Monday, Tuesday. You want to talk about like the YouTube videos, here's what was said and here wasn't said. This is really exciting stuff. I'm being completely honest. That's my soapbox rant.
Yeah, I
was also sort of saying, I was like, if Nintendo was going to say anything about either Nintendo Direct or new Nintendo hardware prior to the meeting, it was going to be this week, right? Because they've only got 2 games. That's it. The canvas is literally empty for them. We know nothing. In 60 days from now, if Nintendo doesn't release anything, they've run out of runway. They have not told us anything. They have run out of runway in regards to what they're launching. They have an entire back half of a year to show us content. This is going to be real interesting.
Yeah, I think we're in for, there's a lot of people who've predicted that this is going to be kind of a boring year for Nintendo. I really think the next 6 months are going to be kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're going to have to, like you said, there's 2 games. They're going to have to tip their hand a little bit just to kind of get like, I'm sure there's going to be like some June/September Direct where we get a couple of surprises, right? But nothing like no avalanche like we felt in the past. And also, I would not be surprised if during one of those presentations, if there's more than one, or if there's just one, that we didn't get the Iwata moment, like when he said, "Hey, and Nintendo NX is being worked on right now," or that was on screen, and just to kind of like, oh, look, the curtain blew to the side just a little bit, and we saw the great and powerful Oz in there. Something's happening.
Nintendo is not going to go past June 30th without providing some Nintendo Direct to tell you what the back half of the year is.
Is that a prediction?
100%. 100%. You are going to get a Nintendo Direct before June 30th or on June 30th, right? Because by that time, they ain't got no games in the channel. They got no games unless tomorrow they're going to come out and say like, hey, we're putting on Metroid Prime in July. Like it's a Twitter release or something like that. Other than that, like they got nothing. And they have to tell a very compelling story.
When is Luigi's Mansion again?
It's like the 27th. 27th. Thank you. That's why I'm saying they have to say June. Like literally in 60 days from now, they ran out of the bullets in the gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
So here's my thing. This is what I think they're going to do. I know that I said that Metroid Prime 4, my prediction was that Metroid Prime 4 would be the last game for Nintendo Switch and like the crossover game for this. I think that's the bullet in the gun. This summer we're getting Metroid. There are other leakers who have heard, like Jeff Grubb said something about like he had heard of like Metroid May or something like that, where Nintendo was going to focus on that. He wasn't sure if that was still happening or not. I think that is the final shot. Nintendo says, this is it. This is our last big game. Maybe they don't even say that because Nintendo's not known to say that, but that's it. Internally, that's what it is. This is it. This is the last big game for Nintendo Switch. Now we switch gears or we shift gears.
This is where I think this is wrong. I'm gonna have to speak up now because it's like I'm waiting.
No, time to change topics. Moving on, folks. So what have you been playing?
I don't think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be the transition game that we think it's going to be like we had in the past. I think it's going to be a game where it's one game that will work on either system But because of programming or whatever, it will recognize which system it's using and will be able to play differently or present differently, if you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
So it won't be two different. I don't think it'll be two different games. I think there's going to be something different about it, in my opinion, to where it's not going to be like what we had with, the Wii U and the Switch with Breath of the Wild. It's going to be Metroid Prime 4 that you can put in a cartridge slot, and when the new Switch comes out, it'll have upgrades, that recognize that it can do on the Switch too.
I think though that I would still classify that as a transition game because it is on both systems, quote unquote, but it's just a new way of doing it.
Yes. Okay.
And I mean, if you think about it this way, Nintendo's the track record of Nintendo over the last 3 consoles has been to have a transitional game. It was Twilight Princess, it was Breath of the Wild. Right?
Yep.
Yes.
Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild, and now it's gonna. I think it's gonna be Metroid Prime 4. Do I think that that's gonna be as blockbuster as Breath of the Wild was? No, and that's unfortunate because I, like you, Tim, I have lots of love for the Metroid franchise, but there has to be something, and it's not. I'll tell you what, it's not going to be. The last gasp of Nintendo Switch is not going to be re-releasing the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD remasters. It's not. I don't like that. Is not their play.
Could be space filler still.
It could be. I'm not saying it's not coming. I'm just saying that's not going to be the final shot.
Right.
The final bullet in the chamber is Metroid Prime 4.
The other thing though too that we have seen is Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS be its last game, right? Unless it was the sushi game, but I can't remember. Sushi Strikers. But Metroid, they didn't port over that game. Even though the Switch was out. They didn't have it, and they did with the Sushi Strikers game. They brought a Switch version over.
Yeah, but I wonder is it because of how the 3D on Metroid was like they turned off the 3D for Strikers, didn't they? Like, wasn't Sushi Strikers designed like without 3D on it?
It might have been, yeah.
And I wonder if like it was, but I think Metroid had 3D still on it,
right? And it probably was under longer development cycle and all that.
Listen, you got Metroid Dread. What more do you want?
No, I'm good.
Another game.
No, it was like there was a time there. Obviously, you all wanted that to come over to the Switch as well. Yeah. We wanted that because there was that rumor.
I remember. I want
Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D.
We wanted that because Doug Bowers was like, "Oh, we got we got 3DS games we're working on bringing over to the Switch," and I was like, "I hope it's Metroid Samus Returns." So, but what I get frustrated about with all these rumors and such is that, I mean, obviously they're just rumors, and I have to look at it as these are all the things that would be great on a Switch, but there's probably only going to be a few of these things that are actually true. And what those are will be fun to see. But one thing that some of the things that I'm hopeful about is that the Samsung thing. Is that if they truly are working with Samsung, to have Samsung work with them on how to iterate on a device, on making it new, even though Samsung does it yearly, at least they have some experience in creating new hardware to where I think that's a good play for Nintendo to have that. But I am still concerned about this rumor still where all this stuff sounds cool, but where does it go over that line where it doesn't sound like a Switch Pro versus a Switch 2?
I got you.
So it's like, what is going to, because we don't want that, because it sounds a little bit like the Wii to Wii U, where it's like, even though you had to get a whole new hardware, there was no upgrade. It was still, the idea of it's still a Wii, but with a new gimmick thing.
Do you all remember, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm completely off to lunch on this. Do you remember transitioning from like the Wii to the Wii U and having to pay like $1 to upscale some of your games?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Like I was like, that did happen,
Yeah,
right?
if you previously owned a virtual console on the Wii and then it got released on the Wii U, you could get it for the discounted price.
Yeah, and it was like $1 or something. Yeah, I remember
Yep.
that.
It was like $1
sorta
for
weird.
NES, $3
Yeah,
for Super Nintendo,
you know what? Me, like an
$5 for
idiot,
N64.
as an idiot, I spent tons of money on that because I thought, oh yeah, these will be transferring over to Nintendo's new system.
Yeah. And then in the Nintendo way, as they do, you had to do them all like one at a time. You couldn't do them all.
Right.
Jeez. I'm gonna start twitching
Well,
here in a minute.
Yeah, that's right. And so eyes are about to start twitching, then it's time to take a timeout.
Let's do it.
Okay, I think I'm turning into my mother.
Uh-oh.
She would
Just in
order
time for Mother's
stuff.
Day.
She would order stuff, forget she ordered stuff, and then all of a sudden get stuff in the mail that she forgot she ordered. I think that this is the first time this happened. It doesn't surprise me that I ordered this, but I honestly don't remember I ordered this.
Limited run doesn't count because it takes forever for those things to get to you.
Yeah, you probably
Right.
ordered stuff like 4 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, I think this was an order from November last year, and then it came in. This came in yesterday. This box is huge.
Wow.
I don't know.
You gotta put it in front of you. No,
Well, let
in
me
front
take
of
off
your
this.
face.
Or turn off your blur.
Oh, no.
Yeah, turn off your background.
I'll
Just,
turn off my background.
why are we
Of
why are we
course.
fighting with it? I don't understand.
And of course, they moved where that does. See, choose virtual background. None.
Yeah, what?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Oh,
The Shantae
nice.
statue.
It's a 12-inch Shantae statue for her 20th anniversary.
Nice.
wow.
I don't know where I'm going to put this, but yeah, this thing's huge. So I just wanted to show that off.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it took them a long time. Oh, hey, we got the settings things in our windows. Your settings is right in the middle of all of our windows. Anyways,
right.
it took like 18 months for them to get me my Star Wars Force Unleashed limited run box. Just sitting behind me too.
That's awesome. Hey, while we're on your like timeout, Jesse, can I ask you Jackbox Party Pack Naughty version coming to Nintendo Switch? Y'all excited for that?
I heard about this, but I don't know what it means. I don't.
It
I haven't
doesn't. It
looked
didn't
into
say
it.
anything like about the games or anything. It just
they
said
could.
Jackbox After Dark,
Yeah,
basically, and it's all adult games. Like there's no family filters, so it's brand new games, but it's only for adults.
I think we
Interesting.
need to send
I
that
didn't even know
over
about
to
that.
the Dads After Dark, and then you do a stream.
They can do it for their Extra Life. When does it come out?
100%. I have checked.
If it's like
Probably
any-
mid-October if they're doing
Yeah,
this
that's
instead
right.
of a pack 11.
Yep. I don't know if they'll be getting together like they did last year, but if they do, there they go.
Can figure it over stream.
they can play it on
True.
stream.
Yeah,
You know,
over stream.
there you go.
In fact, I don't think I've ever played Pack 10 yet because my family's kind of sick of Jackbox games.
I
and won't
haven't
play with
either.
me anymore.
I haven't either, and we've not been able to play at home, you know, because no internet. But now we can. But then we forget that we have it. Yeah. So we did play a new. There was one that we played with some friends a few weekends ago. It was not Use Your Words. It was called What the Dub. That's out on Switch, and it's just like, you know how in Use Your Words there's a section where you write in what is being said during the subtitles of a foreign film or just a film type thing, or write the response. This whole game is just video clips. So if you like that, it's out. It's out there on the Switch. And speaking of that, let's talk about what we've been playing, shall we?
Do it.
right, Justin. It's been a while.
It's
So
been a long time.
been a while.
From here to there. Where's my list?
Back
All
up.
right, I've got a schwack ton of games to talk about. So I'm gonna run you down the list, and then I'll tell you what I would recommend. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
I've been playing Grounded. This came out on the Nintendo Switch a couple of weeks ago. This is from Obsidian, the Xbox game. I love this game. This is really, really fun. And I've only been playing the single player campaign. Some crafting. I'm going to be honest. The spiders give me the heebie-jeebies. All right. The spiders I don't like. I have to go figure out where in the settings I have to turn that off because I don't like it. And But other than that, like, as a kid who grew up in the 80s and 90s and remembers watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right? Rick Moranis, like this has all of those vibes. The opening is such an 80s montage. Like it just feels awesome. Again, I haven't played online yet just because I'm really enjoying the single player campaign, but it's got me. Like I'm like, I want to keep going back, and I love kind of the crafting system around it. I love the daily challenges. It is super cool. Tim, you were playing it as well, right?
Yes, yeah, I played it, and I actually, for being a survival game and the crafting aspect, I'm not a fan of most of the time. I like how it just drops you in, like if as you were just shrunk,
Yeah.
and have to figure things out, and it's like you have to survive, you have to use the land, use your, what you just basically got to go in there and figure it out, and it's actually pretty. It's a puzzle in itself.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, really, really great amount of fun. I would highly recommend it. I was excited to hear it was announced. Originally, like when I heard it was announced a long time ago for Xbox, like I heard a little bit about it. I was like, oh, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And then as we heard it was coming to Switch, I was like, oh, this is really interesting. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Yep.
And so when it was on the list of games that we were hypothetically kind of, that we knew were potentially coming to other platforms, of course, Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, and then what is the one? Penultimate, right? I was like, this was sort of like it's number 3 for me, Grounded out of the 4. I was like, interested, but man, I'm really enjoying it. I highly recommend it. The next one actually talked about earlier, Surmount, that came out today. And this is it's a single player by the way, this actually has 2 players. You can play 2 players on it. I was only doing the 1 player. But you are a climber, and your objective is to climb up this mountain and to find and discover some of the clues along the way. It is ragdoll physics in regards to, like, if you fall, you kind of like twist a little bit funny. You have to like spin yourself to try and jump over to grab another rock to climb up on. You use your L and R. This is the thing that sort of messed my brain up. It's your L and R bumper. So if you hold L, that is your left hand holding. If you hold R, it's your right hand holding. And so if you're spinning, you need to release one hand, use your kind of your stick to spin, and then release the other bumper to kind of fly across the screen to get to a rock, and then like hit an L and R to hold on to. It feels a bit cumbersome at first, but once you sort of get it, you really actually find yourself in the flow of it, and it's kind of natural. Writing's kind of funny. The characters kind of have a goofy animated sort of look to them. It's really cute, and I think I haven't played the co-op option, but I think you should kind of check it out if you're looking for kind of a quirky, fun game that feels different. They're trying something different. There's some customizability features. You should definitely try that out as well. Another Crab's Treasure. Man, another Crab's Treasure. I love another Crab's Treasure. Played it at PAX West in September. I came back to this group and I said, guys, you have to keep an eye on this. This was a game that I like stayed at the booth and played. And I was like, oh no, I got to give the controller to somebody else now. And they have spent the last 7 to 8 months really refining it, and it feels really good. It is a Souls-like game. All right. So if you do not like Souls-like games, you do not like that ability, you may immediately like, it's not for me. But the really cool thing about another Crab's Treasure is there are so many accessibility options that even if it's getting too challenging and too difficult, you have the ability to adjust. Like, hey, your shells can be stronger. The enemies can take more damage. Like, there's a lot of accessibility options for you to kind of, adjust dials, so to say, to find like the experience that is ultimately really for you. I think the gameplay is a lot of fun. There is definitely some glitches in there. There are some patches that I'm hoping they're going to put in soon. Like sometimes the camera flips around and you're like, I'm looking in the inside of a mountain, and this isn't very handy right now. right? So there are definitely some patchwork they have to do with it. The writing is really funny. The shells that he finds around the ocean are quite comical. There's some great voiceover acting to it as well. And I'll kind of spoil a little bit of it in the accessibility. If it gets like really super hard and you're just like grinding, you don't want to do it anymore, and like this boss keeps beating, you're just like so frustrated, you can go to accessibilities, and there's an option that says krill with a gun. And that's exactly what it is. The crab has a gigantic gun on his back, and all it takes is one shot of that gun to kill somebody, and that's it, and they're done. And then you're like, and I'll just go back in, turn off the accessibility, gun is done, and I'm off the way I go. So it is really fantastic. If I was to say of all the games I'm recommending, Another Crab's Treasure is my highlight, is my number one. I think you should check out. Next one is Planet of Lana. Planet of Lana actually came out on the Xbox last year. I had an opportunity to try it out then and really enjoyed it. Planet of Lana, if you've played games like Inside, or what is the other one by the folks who made Inside? Limbo. Thank you. If you like those sort of games, you're going to like Planet of Lana. It is environmental puzzle and storytelling. It is, yeah, it's really cool. Like if you like Inside or Limbo, this is a game that you should check out. I would highly recommend it. It's super kind of chill. Yeah, it's enjoyable. Great puzzles, great environmental storytelling, great soundtrack. Check that one out. The other game I've been playing is Tales of Zenzara.
Zutate.
However we say that. This game was shown off at Game Awards last year, and it was like, hey, coming to these consoles. This is a Metroidvania game about grief. And there's some great voice acting in this, some great storytelling. It's like an Afro neo futuristic world. There's definitely huge Metroidvania elements to it. There's no doubt about it. I'm enjoying it. The challenge I have with this is I played Prince of Persia in January, and that blew my socks off. That was a really incredible Metroidvania game. And that felt like it was doing things differently. It felt like it was pushing the genre. It felt like it was doing some things that were kind of really cool. This doesn't feel like it's doing anything too fascinating or cool. I think the crutch or the hook of it is the story about grief, right? I'm playing it and I'm like, I feel like I'm going through the motions of playing it. Does that make sense? Like, I'm like, I have all these amazing games to play. I'm like, I should do this to move the story along. But that's the thing. I just want to do it to move the story along, not of like this is amazing. Oh my gosh, this is so cool and awesome. I was like, yeah, okay, there it is. Right. And there is definitely some great gameplay. There's some great boss battles, but it just kind of feels weird coming about 3 months after Prince of Persia. That was so good that this is like, if Prince of Persia wasn't there, would this have felt better? I don't know necessarily. So if I was to kind of tell you like what I would recommend, I'd probably put Tales near the end. If you're a Metroidvania fan, I'd say probably put it on a list, maybe put it on a wish list or whatever, and look for it on a sale. Or maybe you didn't play Prince of Persia, you didn't really connect with Prince of Persia. Maybe this is a great game for you to connect with. And Marty, maybe this is you, because I know you sort of really love that genre. Tim, I'd love your impressions of it because I think you are a big fan of that genre. Jesse, I don't really care. And then from there, I would probably recommend. I'd probably recommend Planet of Lana next. I would then recommend Surmount. I'd then recommend Grounded, and then I would definitely recommend Another Crab's Another Crab's Treasure. I know that, Tim, you were asking me about that earlier. Which one would you put your money down on? That's the one I would do for sure.
Okay.
Those are the games.
Tim, what you been playing?
Stellar Blade on the PlayStation 5. I am really enjoying that story there. And the graphics, of course, are fantastic. And visuals aren't bad either, but we won't get into that. The S.O.L, which stands for Search of Light. Not
I was going to say,
else.
that is not the S.O.L that we know here in the South.
Right. Not the same. Not the same. This is, not that S.O.L, but it stands for Search of Light. Is a game that we got a code for. It is... and I was going to do a first look on it, but I ran into a bug that prevented my progress, and I let the developer know. So I'm waiting for hopefully some progress on that. But I think the game is out. and it is something that you can get, but just be warned that S.O.L. Search of Light has a glitch, and that glitch is if you go to any of the treasure boxes, it's a roguelike tower defense type game where you go through this black hole to go to other levels to get to the surface and find parts to bring back to your level and build up your village, fortress, or whatever, including some of the tower defense elements like walls and turrets and all that kind of stuff. You also can recruit robots to help you do various things. And that's why you go to different floors to be able to get parts and things like that to help you do this. But it's also built like a roguelite, like I said, where you have to select the path you're going, and depending on that path that you're going, you'll get certain things from if you defeat that level. One of the levels is a chest where you can go unlock a chest and get something from that, but I don't know what that is because when I pick it, the level locks up and you can't do anything. Game, you got to basically start the game over, and then luckily, you get to just pick a different route or from that point. But you can work around it, but it's just very frustrating to try to do and play and get the full experience. So I just asked if that's something that can be fixed.
So what you're saying is, until the patch comes out, if you play S.O.L, you're literally S.O.L.
S.O.L, yeah. Well, like I said, there's a workaround. Just don't pick the chest levels, and you can keep on playing. Unless it's one of the random ones, then you're S.O.L. So anyways, just wanted to get a heads up on that. It looked promising or played promising, but hopefully they can figure that out. And then the other game I've been playing, as we alluded to earlier, is Endless Ocean Luminous. I played that for a couple hours before the show, actually, and also Solo something has played it too, and his first look's going to be coming out soon, probably next 24 hours, I'm sure. So look out for his first look, and then I'll try to do a stream of my playing this weekend, I think, because I'm about 5 hours, it's not 5 hours, 2 hours into the game. And I was thinking 5 hours because I'm in rank 4 and close to level 5. So, but the game is actually, I've heard a lot of the complaints and all that kind of stuff, and I had low expectations going into it. I've never played an Endless Ocean game before, but basically it's a search game where you're a diver, you're searching for things, and you're learning about the ecosystem, underwater ecosystem. You're a marinologist, is it? Or I think that's the right word for it. But and you're also finding artifacts as well of a ancient civilization that's underwater. So it's kind of cool in that regard, because I dig that kind of stuff, especially when it comes to artifacts and stuff like that. But there's a story mode, there's a solo dive mode, and then you can do a shared dive with other divers online. I haven't done that part yet, but I did the solo dive and the story part. You can the first leg of the story is basically tutorial, and you you're not doing much exploration on your own. It's basically you're just walking through, getting an idea of how things work, how your HUD works, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of boring, to be honest, but it's a tutorial. So what do you expect? I was ready to just jump in and start searching and stuff. But once I got through that, you can unlock the second missions. But before you do that, you have to have a certain amount of things that you found. So that's where the solo dive comes in. So you got to go through the solo dive to be able to search for all the different types of fishes or the artifacts and things like that. And then you'll be able to unlock the next leg of it, the stories. Along with that, there's things you can collect, which is they call it the 99 mystery board. It's part of the story element, so I won't give too much away on that, but there's essentially 99 things to collect as you're diving. which also earns you money to be able to then collect new swim gear, colors essentially, um, stickers and emotes. Think, Fortnite like emotes, but
Oh
underwater
boy.
for your scuba diver. Because there's the multiplayer aspect of it, and you'll use those emotes when you're swimming around with other divers. I'll be checking that out soon and see what that's like. But again, there's a lot to be going on here right now, and I've only played for a couple hours, but it was enough for me to see this for me to enjoy, like I told these guys, during either in the morning with some coffee, just kind of it's a relaxing game where I'm just searching around. I'm not being attacked by anything. It's just more of exploring and searching and learning. So maybe even an opportunity for kids possibly getting to learn something out of this too. One other aspect that I'm looking forward to checking out is that there's apparently an event called the Dive Festival going on May 10th from 12 a.m. to May 13th to 12 p.m. And this is Pacific time. And I'm looking forward to checking that out. So it's an event, and I don't know what's happened. It says Song of the Sea Dragons. So I'm looking forward to that and
So
checking
what
that
you're
out.
saying is, as we mentioned on the pre-show, or I did, this is the gaming equivalent of lo-fi music.
Yes, and I like that too. Yes, it's a very chill, game. That's I wish it had lo-fi music in it, I think, but it's your typical underwater type sounds and music and stuff like that, but it's also chill in a way too, which I don't
Always put
mind.
your headphones on.
Yeah, and I'm sure actually there's options where, yeah, and I had headphones on when I was playing. The options, I'm sure you can turn down sound effects or the music and then put your own music on if you wanted to. You can adjust all those different things.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I'm actually enjoying my time with it. It is the graphics, yes, are not going to be game of the year graphics. It's not PS5, it's a Switch. But for what I'm playing, I haven't seen any pop in. The area you swim in is limited because I did hit the wall in the ocean, where you can only go so far, but there's still a lot to explore because I've only explored 4% or 5% of the area so far, and it gives you constant upgrades or updates on that. And then there's also achievements built into the game as well, so you'll get to see, what you're getting out of that. So again,
Yeah.
if you're looking for a chill game, and you're not, again, your expectations aren't high as far as this is on the Switch. It still looks great for being on the Switch. In fact, I'm looking at it right now and it looks great in handheld mode. The water looks fantastic. Um, and again, I'll be playing it. You'll see Solo's first impressions, and I'll be doing a stream of it that you can certainly go back and watch and see, have your, make your own opinions on it from there.
Cool. All right. Good stuff. Jesse, what have you been playing?
I've been continuing my playthrough of Persona 5 Reload. That's pretty much the only thing I've been playing. I'm like around 85 hours in now. For those who know the game,
Well, sure, you're about
made
halfway through.
right. No, I think I might be able to be done by next week. I think I'm getting close to the end. If you're familiar with the game, I just made the big end of your decision. It's if you know, you know. If you don't know, it's a spoiler, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, I think I'm within a week, maybe 2 weeks of being able to finish this after playing it for over 2 months. That yeah, that's all I've been playing.
So did you say you're gonna go back to that level?
What's that?
I missed it. Are you going back to fix the ending? Go back to level 30 or whatever.
I don't know what you're referring to.
So Persona, right?
Yeah.
You were playing that game and you got to a certain level, or was that a different? And you got the wrong ending, so you got to go back to a different save.
Are you talking about what I? Okay, yeah. So again, at the end of December, you make a decision. I made 2 save slots on December 30, and then I purposely on loaded up the second save and purposely made the bad decision to get the bad ending, just so I can see what it looks like in HD. And then once that was saved, I wanted to save it on the 31st because that's the date to make the decision, but I didn't save it on the 31st, but I had my save from the 30th. So not all, I didn't, I had to like replay like 5 or 10 minutes of stuff.
Okay.
So it isn't horrible, but then I loaded up my original save and then continued and did the good ending decision, which gives me another at least a month or so of calendar time to play.
Gotcha. That's the part I missed. All right.
But I do have that second save slot that is marked as a completed game now. So if I wanted to do a new game plus based on that, I could.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice.
Awesome. So I've just been playing Vampire Survivors. Lots and lots of Vampire Survivors. And
Nothing wrong with that.
What triggered this other than to say there was a news item that popped up on my Nintendo Switch on the news channel that said that there was Among Us content in Vampire Survivors. And I was like, what the crap? So I went to the eShop, and sure enough, there was a very cheap little DLC download that added Among Us characters and an Among Us level to the game. And I have been systematically making my way through the levels with one character where I think out of the 10 levels that I have right now unlocked, I've beaten 7 of them now. So and by beaten, I mean, there's a check mark, there's completion, all the relics are found, all of that. So
and the new DLC is coming out next week.
Yes,
May
there's
9th.
Contra.
May 9th.
Contra DLC coming out on May 9th.
Yeah.
Which is going to add even more to the game. And I am like, I love that I can dive into this and do 30 minutes of it and feel like I've accomplished something. It's just, it has clicked, and I've just been playing so much of it because I've finished school for the semester. So now I'm going to be able to dive back into some more games that have more meaty, have some more story to them. So going to be getting back to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Going to finally, my goal for May is to finish Tears of the Kingdom finally. So yeah, I've got a backlog full of games. I don't care about Endless Ocean. That's fine. I may even delay picking up Paper Mario. Just to be honest, unless we get a code for it, I may delay it because I don't like. I want to finish some of these other story heavy games. Like I'm interested in another Crab's Treasure, but I'm going to put off buying that until I finish some other games. So I need to go back and finish these games so that I can close the book, right? Because it's been open for a while. Like Tears of the Kingdom has now been out for a year. So, or is it 2 years? I don't even remember.
1 year.
It's been out for a year. This month, the 10th. So it'll be out for a year. We're coming up on a year and I'm ready to close the book, ready to finish it. So until then, I'm just going to play Vampire Survivors.
I still got a few more years before I'm scheduled to complete it. So.
So there's a character in Vampire Survivors that I've really has become my character. His name is Poe. And he starts the game. He starts each round with the garlic power up, which if you've played the game, the garlic creates like a bubble around your character. And it's instead of being a shield, it's like it radiates damage.
Nice.
And so you can eventually grow that to become like this all-encompassing sphere of death. But you have to have I'll typically couple that. I like that because you can kind of just you're walking around and it's multi-directional, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're not focused on a whip or whatever. So I'll couple that with the Bible and the holy water and a fireball or something. And by the end of the game, I've recorded some insane moments of just how am I surviving? How am I getting through this? The screen is just full of enemies. And it just sometimes like it's just cathartic. Like
Mhm.
I've had this, I've had so much to do, and now I have destroyed 15,000 skeletons in a level that is tragically named the Bone Zone.
Nice.
Which they've got to know what they did there, right? So
So
yeah, Vampire Survivors.
my version of that is Geometry Survivors.
Okay, yeah,
I can jump into that like you were jumping into yours and just see how far I make it and have fun with it, you
yeah,
know. So
absolutely. So good. I think Vampire Survivors is relatively cheap
yep.
on the Switch. Now, if you pick up all the DLC, not so much, but they're like $2, $3, $4 each, and I think the game is four or five. So it's worth a check out if you haven't. If you're a fan of Castlevania, there's a ton of callbacks to this, to the
Yes.
Castlevania series. And I found even like unlockable stuff. Like I've gotten to a point where I've gotten stuff unlocked where it's like permanent upgrades. And I think that's
Nice.
helped. That's what's helped the process of beating these levels. So
Right.
yeah, that's it. That's what we've been playing. Turn on the community spotlights.
All right, so it's a community spotlight. So we want to shout out to everybody who stopped in during our live session going on right now, like Friendo, who's got the jokes tonight. I don't know if you guys have been catching his jokes on some of the
He's
game
on fire.
commentary there. He's on fire. Mecha Dragon popping in at the end here, and then Vic was in here. Mikey Burgett. Uh, I think Episode was here at one point.
Yep. Lots of people over on X watching us as well. So
Yeah,
if you're on
yeah.
X
Oh,
and
like
feel free to leave a comment or say something. It'd be great to
Gaming Dads
yeah, Game Dad came
popped
in.
in there and said hi. So I just shouted out to him. And then Christian was in for a minute, but he had to get the kids to bed. Shadow Wolf, lots of names to go through. Oh, Miz was in here too. He was up there at the beginning. So always thankful for you guys stopping in. Like I mentioned last week, we're gonna have to try to plan a everybody show up, during a month. Everybody show up on stream and just blow up our numbers, that when you normally
Mhm.
don't watch there. It's just to have like a special occasion or something. But anyways, let's cover some of the events and contests that we've got going on, like the latest giveaways, like Justin mentioned earlier, was Paper Mario 1000 year door giveaway. That's going to be going on for our Patreons and Twitchers. uh all our subscribers. They're going to be put in the pool for that giveaway. So stay tuned for all of that information on that. And then we also have our cracked Neo S controller giveaway, which I have 4 of those things back here, but we're not giving away all 4. We're giving away this one, the the retro one that has the Famicom colors, the gold and that dark red. They call it the retro gold edition. We're going to give away one of these and maybe even one more, depending on how many entries we get. But how do you enter? You basically have to help us celebrate 10 years of Nintendo Dads podcasting with us. And what you got to do is go into YouTube, go grab one of your favorite podcasting moments by clipping it and sending it to us in our Discord in the Neo S Contest 24 channel or via email at nintendodads@gmail.com. Submit your clips there by giving us the URLs at those 2 places, and you'll be put in the drawing. You can give us as many clips as you want. You'll get a drawing number for that. And the contest ends Wednesday, May 22nd, and the people who are eligible for this is basically open to, if you can go order one of these and get it mailed to you, then you are eligible to win one of these from us. So preferably one of the ones we already bought, but if we have to, we'll try to mail you one in a different country, depending on how much it costs. But that's what we got going on. And I've been using this one here, the Blossom one. This one's going to be going to my wife after I'm done testing it out. This is what I played Endless Ocean with today. And I love the way this one looks, actually, and this very beautiful looking controller. It feels pretty solid. And I'm impressed by this device, and it's great size for throwing in a backpack or whatever. Maybe not a daily driver, maybe not as good as a pro controller as far as holding it for a long time. But I'm learning more. I'll have a review video about these controllers later on, but you can win one for yourself by doing, like I said, submitting a clip to us in Discord or to our Gmail, and you'll win one. All right. We also have Friday Night NSO every second Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern. Tim, Shannon, Chris HL, sometimes Sam, sometimes Marty, come and play along in the Discord or on stream. And but you can also keep an eye on any Friday. Sometimes we may do this on any Friday, any given Friday, to play a game, especially for Marty. Marty will surprise us. But not only on Fridays, but Marty's got his Sunday streams that he does every now and then too.
And it's coming back this Sunday night. This Sunday night on Sunday streams will hopefully, possibly, maybe be finishing The Legend of Super Mario, which is the Zelda clone.
Hack.
Yeah, Zelda ROM hack that has Mario characters.
Yep.
And
if you want to feel like you're in an alternate universe, just come watch Marty play that game.
Yeah, and that will be at beginning at 7 p.m. Central Time on Sunday night.
Yes.
Everywhere that you watch us normally.
So, and then every third Friday of the month, we have the table at 10 p.m. Eastern. The community gets together at the table to discuss whatever is on everyone's mind. If you want to join, again, you have to be a subscriber via Patreon or Twitch and get access to Discord, and you'll be able to join in. It is very therapeutic, we've been told. So come join us there. And then we still have the monthly Retro Logic Retro Rewind going on for Pokemon X or Y, going on till mid-May. You get to submit your Pokedex, and if you got the most, and you get a chance to win $10 eShop card to the eShop of your choice. So lots of events. Marty, you hinted towards that at the beginning of the show. We have a lot of stuff going on in our community. So come join us by being a subscriber, a Patreon subscriber, or Twitch subscriber. Now we jump into the questions from the community. We got some voicemails. We got some questions at the Patreon level, and then in our Discord. Starting first with Hoots' question, which we missed last week, and that's why we had to bring it in. Hoots asks, the other day I listened to a podcast talk about how critical the management of an Excel spreadsheet was in making localizing a video game. I thought, hey, I'm good at spreadsheets. Maybe I can help make a game someday. If each of you was on a game development team, what is your number one skill you would bring to the table?
I would probably say, for me on a game development studio, I would say voice talent. Right? If we need to do voiceover, that would probably be it. And I think storytelling. I think those are the skills that I'm pretty decent at in regards to if I was developing a game.
Nice. What else you guys got? Anything?
I'd probably say part of software development, though I've never made a game before. I've never dealt with 3D graphics before. All of my programming experience is more background, command line level type of stuff. So while I wouldn't be doing like model rigging and animation or anything like that, but I'd probably be doing some of the background stuff like, calculating damage based on armor class and strength and all these other stats. That's probably what I would be doing.
Nice.
I think I would probably just be motivating people. I don't know.
That's about right.
Honestly don't know what skills like that I could bring to the table.
You could be the team lead or producer.
Sure.
right?
There you
Or
go.
social media. You could be the
You
social.
you give me way too much credit. So I'm
The Scrum
literally
Master. Marty's the Scrum Master.
useless.
Marty is the Scrum Master
Sure,
for sure.
sure.
All right.
I'm useless. That's about it.
No, you got some qualities
No,
there that
Marty,
would
don't say that. It's not true.
you missed the eye roll, Marty.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know,
The
I
audio
know.
for the audio people, he did the eye roll, and it was really funny.
Yeah.
All right, Mecca asks, what did you guys do when you were unemployed for a time, and what games do you play to keep yourself from stressing out over that?
What?
What did you guys do when you were unemployed for a time?
What are you talking about?
I've never been unemployed.
What did you do what did you do during shutdown?
I worked.
I worked.
Still worked?
Yeah.
I did. I
I
still
worked.
worked.
Yeah.
I never. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I think the only time like I was unemployed was when I was like 13, right? Like because you couldn't work.
Yeah.
But ever since the ability to have a job, I worked, right? And so
I've been at work since age 22.
yeah.
And I'm
I
43.
only have maybe a 6 month period where I was laid off, and it took me a while to find a new job. Late '99 into early 2000. And back then, I wasn't into gaming. I had kind of fallen off and didn't get back into gaming again until like 2001, 2002. So I don't remember what I did.
Yeah, and also I want to be very clear, like if for some odd reason that just came off as super jerkish, the way we were like, we never not worked. Definitely understand that there are
No,
people
that's
who
that's
have
not
that
what
situation and that's may have occurred.
that's not
But
what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Like I'm confused by the question. Like, was I unemployed at a time that I did not know about? And
May have been like you finished high school and or were you college and you were transitioning to a job,
it
maybe?
wasn't well, I mean, I went from high school directly to college. I had a job lined up after college.
Yeah.
I mean, in that way, I would say I'm privileged to have been afforded the opportunity to never have been unemployed. Now, what I will take away from this question is that at the beginning of COVID, I was incredibly stressed out about that. Had a ton of stuff, responsibilities that were suddenly things that I needed to do in my job position that I was not doing before that. And it was Animal Crossing.
Mm.
All right. It was that game. I mean, like I think we all that were playing that game, like we burned through content that was not supposed to be burned through because of that whole.
We were waiting for
circumstance.
each event going on in Animal Crossing because it was like we already gotten through the
Okay,
event in a day or two.
So Mech is providing some context now in the Twitch chat. All right. So his statement says, well, that hurts for me. You dads were never got laid off before. Aren't you all lucky? I've been out of work for a bit, so sorry. Just need some kind of game to relieve stress.
Well, I
so
hate
first,
that.
Mecca, obviously I think the question was leading that there was something going on there. So sorry, Mecca, that maybe our sensitivity was not where we needed to be on that one. I would say the following thing is, first, I'm sorry that happened to you. That sucks.
Mhm.
And I know that there's a lot of people right now who are probably going in this situation, right? We continue to hear lots of lack of stability in regards to the job market, especially in the US, and there's lots of layoffs in different sectors. Our hope for you is that you find something soon. I think I would encourage you to find something that you can feel is escapism, right? And gives you a level of like, hey, completionism. I think in anything we all like our desire as individuals are to be productive, is to work, is to add value, right? So I encourage you to like find some, and maybe I think like Animal Crossing is sort of, we kind of go back to this one, but there are daily tasks, there are daily things, right? These are checklists, sort of like with the work that you need to do at work. That kind of keeps you in that right routine and that method. And I think encourage you not to become too lost in the escapism. I think it's okay to escape. I think it's okay to find opportunities to stop for a bit and just like find your own way, but also not to be like, well, I just played, Animal Crossing or Fortnite for the last 17 hours. And you're like, okay, cool. You need to go try and do something else now that encourages you to try and find opportunities. Right. So that's sort of my.
I would add to this.
There.
I think there's two games that just got released on Switch that would be great for you during this time, and one that is a little bit older that I'll mention it and you'll probably say, "Oh yeah, duh." Why? I mean, The first would be Sticky Business that just came out, which is about you owning your own sticker company. I'm playing that right now, and it is totally the most non-pressure game that I have on Switch. Like, it's you make stickers. You're limited only by your own creativity. You box them up, you ship them out, you answer emails, and it just feels. I hate to use the word cozy because I think it's overused, but it is a cozy game. Like it's in every sense of the word. The other one that I would mention is Stitch, which was also just announced during the last Indie World. It's that game. It's a puzzle game about cross stitch, and you can choose to dive into small ones, or there's ones that can take multiple play sessions for you to finish. And it's light, it's fun, it's distracting. The other one would be Power Wash Simulator.
Mm.
I think that there's something to having a game where you can see progress that's being made as you play it. And that is one of those. Like, hey, I have washed this. Like, and it's just fun too. It's a lot of fun
There's
and
something about
relaxing.
Power Wash Simulator that just like puts you in this weird state of zen.
Yes.
I didn't believe Marty when he talked about it. I was like, this sounds stupid, Marty. And then when I was at PAX West, they put out the Back to the Future thing and they were having us demo it there. And I was like, oh, yeah,
I'm right.
totally
Yeah,
get
'cause
this.
remember, I bought it and streamed it on Father's Day as a joke
Yeah.
for while I was in early access, and I loved the game, and I played through pretty much all of the early access content before it went live.
It's
But yeah,
just
pretty
there's
much
something
anything that gives you that Zen state, like
Yes.
me, would be Picross. I was going to mention Stitch as well. Tim might say the Endless Ocean game if that's what. If that's where he goes with it, I'm not sure.
Another
Well,
another Crab's Treasure will not be that game.
And the reason I mentioned
right now.
games like Stitch and Sticky Business is if you are in a situation right now where you don't have a job and money might be a little bit tighter for you, these are more affordable games than like Endless Ocean, which I think is a $50 game, right? I believe Power Wash Simulator is a cheaper game if you just buy the base version. So those are a little more budget conscious for you as well.
So in my 20s, I did experience this where I was unemployed shortly. I got laid off from my factory job and had to pivot my career into what was I going to do next. So while I was doing that, I didn't have very much money either, but I already had a PlayStation 1 and I was playing Metal Gear Solid and Gran Turismo and Need for Speed. I think it was Hot Pursuit or something like that. But those
2 out of 3 racing games. That flows.
That's
Yep.
the Tim model.
Those were the games that I was able to play and had, and I'm sure there's probably something else there I can't remember. But not only those things, time, like Justin, when you were talking about, is going out and doing other things because you don't want to be too much in your own head, feeling negative about yourself or negative about what's been going on. You got to get out there. I had my friends, they were around to help me maintain my what do you want to call it? The
mental health.
Yeah, mental health. Thanks.
Sanity.
Exactly. So they would take me out and help me out and stuff like that. So to get through those times, there was more than just being laid off too, that in regards to that time in my life, but that was one part of it. And so yes, games was a piece of me getting through that, like those games I mentioned on the PlayStation. But I also had friends and other things to do to keep me busy. So, all right. So great question, Mecca, and hopefully that helps anybody else out there who's listening. If you have anything serious like that too, you can always shoot us a question like that and we'll answer it as best as we can. Darth Platypus asks, what is the best video game controller ever and which is your favorite?
I would say
Go ahead, Jesse.
I would think as the best video game controller, I would say the Switch Pro controller. That's pretty much the controller I use anytime I'm playing the Switch now. What my favorite? People are going to laugh at this one, but I'm going to say the N64 because it's a funny looking controller but you can't access everything at once, but that's kind of what makes it versatile. Is you can shift your hand placement to do whatever the game needs you to do, and it can be different things for different games.
Yeah, that's a great controller. Like it just feels comfortable. I think for me, the one I do agree first, Jesse, the Switch Pro controller, absolutely, right? Like I don't think there's a better controller out there, and especially in the current generation. I'm gonna say like the classic one that I go to every time it feels nice in the hand is the Super Nintendo controller, right? Like
You stole mine.
Yeah, sorry. It's got it's got the nice curve around it where your fingers feel like they just land a little bit more comfortably than the normal NES controller, right? Where is that rectangle, and so the weight distribution is a bit weird, and the shoulder buttons feel comfortable. Yeah, I think get out of here with your whatever that is Atari thing. Get out of here, Jesse. You're weird.
To me, the Super Nintendo controller.
This is Atari.
The Super Nintendo controller is the best, and here's why. It took what Nintendo had perfected with the NES controller, D-pad, start, select, BA. It added just enough new buttons to be something that was entirely different, but it was also still super responsive, just like the original one was. Now,
and that setup is on every controller.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, literally YXBA, or if you want to flip it around, XYAB, Nintendo, they were the pioneers for this. So now, I mean, we owe that to them. I think as far as favorite controller, though, I have to agree with Jesse that the Switch Pro controller is so very good. But I want to say too, a shout out to the spiritual ancestor of that controller. The Wii U Pro controller was awesome. The Wii U Pro controller felt so good.
If I remember right, I liked it and it fit right, but I think it was too light. It looked like you were gonna.
It was
sometimes
light.
It felt like it was break it just by playing it.
It was light, but I think that's part of I don't know for me why I liked it so much. But yeah, Switch Pro controller.
Yep.
Chef's kiss.
I also agree. Best video game controller, Switch Pro controller. But my favorite is the Airflow for the GameCube, because it had fans that kept my hands cool when I played that, and that was my favorite.
I was shocked nobody called it the Wavebird, because the Wavebird was such a classic.
That's definitely a runner-up. I think I owned 4 of them.
Since I missed the GameCube generation altogether, like I remember, I think Marty, you might remember this too. Like when we got sent a couple of GameCube controllers. Do you remember that? I think like for playing Smash and stuff like that. Like I looked at this thing, I was like, I don't know what you want me to do with this. Like there is too many buttons and it is awkwardly shaped. I remember you were like, this is awesome. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. This is crazy.
So there's this kind of opens the door to talk about this. I keep this on my desk right now. Is this brand new controller that Mamba sent us over that has programmable LEDs. It has the backs, the stop for the shoulder buttons, that allow you to pull the trigger faster. It has 4 programmable back buttons, and it like its own charging dock that it sits in, and this screen that's actually a touch screen that you program. That's what helps do the LEDs, turbo features, different things like that. The only thing that I really don't like about it, and you can go watch a video of my unboxing of this. The only thing I really don't like about it is it has the reversed XYAB. So it's set up like an Xbox controller. Actually, it feels exactly like an Xbox One controller. It's the same body style, same style D-pad for that. So, but I do love that there is this automatic charging dock, that just sits there, and it sits so nice right next to the monitor on my computer. Nice. And that's kind of become my play at home controller for that. So it's worth checking out if you're in the market. I know a lot of people probably aren't in the market for a new controller right now because we're so close to the end of the Switch's life cycle.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at these. I've been sitting on the Cracked webpage here now for about the last 25 minutes since Tim showed that one, and I'm debating whether I want the splatter or the junkyard or the classic clear.
The classic clear looks really good, but I really like the Famicom one that we're giving away.
It's a classic clear right there.
Yeah, it looks good. And the button mapping is the same as the Switch, hey, where the A, Bs and the X, Ys are.
Yep. It's essentially laid out like a Switch controller.
Does it feel good playing like an NES game on it?
Like on the classic? I have,
because it should.
I tried it briefly and it felt pretty responsive. What was I trying? I was Super Mario 3. I was trying very briefly, but that's why I have more to test out with this for sure. But the D-pad in that brief test felt good. It felt responsive. Yeah, but we can talk about that more in the after.
We'll
post show.
We'll talk about it
later. All right. So Zablanc asked, lately it feels like we constantly hear stories about games being rated for the Switch, especially in other countries.
Oh, don't be doing this to me.
Why do publishers allow these leaks to happen instead of simply announcing their games before they submit them to get rated and they get leaked ahead of time?
This is a softball for Justin. Let him just take this one.
Well, I think he's probably referring to the fact that like Hi-Fi Rush got rated this week.
Hollow Knight. I mean,
Hollow Knight
rated in other countries.
Yeah, it's challenging because that is sort of the like it's the cart before it's the chicken and egg scenario, right? Like you have to have it rated before you can release it, but you can't be like, yeah, we're releasing the game. But P.S. I actually don't really know the date because the rating systems take a while and they need to do that communication hype cycle is not fun. Right. And it is unfortunate that it sort of, but I mean, we've also seen situations where any game being rated does not mean it's coming out tomorrow. Right. Like the fact that Hollow Knight was rated doesn't mean it came out tomorrow. It just means that's part of the cert process, right? The game is developed. The game has to go over for rating to certified because it has to have the sticker on it about that's part of the process. So it sort of is what it is. It is what it is. Like, but I don't know. It is. It's the internet. We can't have anything nice nowadays.
I think the ESRB has like a field when they do the submission to say, keep private until blank date. But other countries may not have that or may not honor it. Like they should. I'm not sure. I don't know how other countries' systems work.
May have something to do with timing as well, where if they're trying to get the game out for a shadow drop or, within a release within days of the announcement, then that's when we might hear these type of things too. Whereas it doesn't matter if they know the game's going to be out much later and it's already been announced, or they come out and say, it'll be out in the fall of 2024, then they got time and we've already seen it, and it gets rated and all that kind of stuff. So
and also I mean, it's the internet. Nothing can be kept nice nowadays, right? Like it's just part and parcel of it. And again, it's also one of those things that helps create like some news cycle and spin, right? Like I'm not trying to take a shot here. Like legitimately, like Nintendo Life reported, hey, which it's Hi-Fi Rush has now been rated, and you're like, there's a news article, there's clicks, there's the cycle, right? That has to happen and nothing wrong with it because that's their job. They're Nintendo News. Like I totally get that, right? And so it just sort of is what it is.
As long as they're announcing publicly released information, perfect.
Yeah. Does it ruin the fact like I'm not shocked. The only thing for me is I'm like, so when is it happening? Right? Is that happening soon? Right? Like, and that's a problem that like Hollow Knight got into a couple weeks ago. Right? Was we had a week earlier of all these ratings, and it's like, oh, by the way, we're having an indie direct, and everyone's like, okay, here we go, and you're like, no. So,
yep.
I know there's an Xbox event going on, I think
June 9th.
And I got an email saying if you want to put yourself into a lottery for 2 tickets. Fill out this form. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be able to go there.
And then they're following right after that with the Call of Duty Direct or whatever they're calling it, right? So that's going to be
they're calling it the Redacted Direct.
redacted.
Because
it's the Call of Duty Direct. Everyone knows that. Like, come on.
it is, yes.
It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
All right.
Think we'll hear Switch news there, since there was the promise of Call of Duty on the Switch.
I don't think so. I think you're going to hear about Call of Duty coming to Switch in a Switch Direct. I don't think you're going to hear about it from Xbox, unless they say something along the lines of like, we're excited that in fall or when the game releases on November 12th, 2024, it will be available on all platforms. That's the only way. Like, they probably won't call it directly and saying coming to Switch, GOG, Steam, Like, that would probably be the only way they're going to say that. But
Or
it is
if it was
interesting.
announced before theirs too.
It is interesting because the other part of it is that this is, and sorry, I'm sidetrack here. The Call of Duty Direct, or whatever we want to call it, the Redacted Direct, means that all these people who, like, in PlayStation land who were Call of Duty fans are going to show up to an Xbox event to find out more about Call of Duty, right?
Mhm.
And so this is exactly what Xbox wants. Come to the Xbox house. Let me show you everything we have, right? And while you're here, would you be interested in an Xbox? Because it's day one on Game Pass, right? And that kind of stuff. So
Right.
it'll be interesting. This is a very interesting time now that the deal has gone through and it's in their house, it's in their suite. This is going to be Xbox's first time where the dominoes could really start coming together for them, and they could start to make some traction. And they need to start making back that $70 billion they spent.
Yeah, or that house of cards can fall.
100%.
Yep.
All right. Chris HL94 asks, based on this, thoughts on this comment from the Legend of Zelda film director in regards to Link speaking in the movie. The director says A or B or C. I'll just have it like the game. You just have little dialogue boxes pop up in the movie and you pick which one you want. Link does communicate to villagers all over through the game. You just don't hear his voice. What do you guys think?
And I've been saying that for years. In game he talks. Like Zelda 2, I imagine him being a complete chatterbox because he's got to talk to every villager to explain his situation, to get sometimes bug off. I'm not going to help you, or I am error. But yeah, and then journal entries in Breath of the Wild. Actually says that Link talks to Zelda. We just never hear it.
Right.
He doesn't talk to Zelda much.
And in other,
but he does.
In other media, he's talking, like in the manga books. He's talking.
Yeah. And we don't count the CDI games.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I think they should just take over all the dialogue from the 80s Zelda cartoon. And he should just constantly be like, well, excuse me, princess.
But yeah, Link in a movie, he's got to actually have a voice. He's got to talk.
He's gonna have to.
I equate it to the same thing they did with Mario. Mario did not sound like the game Mario, but we still understood it as Mario, and it became great. It was a high-grossing movie.
So what you're saying is Chris Pratt's going to be Link.
Chris Pratt is going to be Link. We're all set. So yes. All right. Questions from Patreon. David asks, questions from David B., also known as the Master Disaster, the one true son of King of Koopas, the mischief maker from the Taker, coming to the ring, Koopa King 80. Why can't they make adult Animal Crossing sets? In regards to the Legos.
What do you mean by adult?
I think he means like
the creator,
like the Bowser, like they have a 12-inch Bowser build. Have the 12-inch KK slider.
I think it's a matter of time. Animal Crossing is incredibly popular with adults. I think they will have at least one set.
Yeah, we didn't get the Mario black set until like the Piranha Plant until later in the Bowser.
Yeah.
So,
but they had the NES and they had the block.
Yeah.
Early on.
The NES came first, then we got the Mario.
What I would love to see, and this is pipe dream, I know, but I would love to see them because the block was interactive. The NES was interactive. It had, the crank element, had that. I would love to see them do a globe with Animal Crossing that scrolled like it does in the game, where it looks like it, you
Yeah.
could turn it and see different parts of your island or of the area.
Go break out all your Legos and go build it. Do Lego.
I think it would
Lego
have to
ideas.
be like, it would have to be a fairly small scale.
Yeah,
But you could convey what you're trying to get across there.
for sure.
And it would be modular. So you could rebuild Animal Crossing as you wanted it to be on your globe.
There you go. They could do a mini version of it, the
Sure.
smaller size ones. All right. The second part of his question is, if they had a Nintendo World Championships, what games would you want included, and should they do a callback to the OG championship?
Ooh. I think there would need to be a single player element. There would need to be a game. So there would need to be single player games. There would need to be games where you directly compete against each other one-on-one. And then would also have to be multiplayer, right? So like, as much as I hate to say it, Splatoon should be there.
Dr. Mario.
Yeah, we want a mix of some
Dr.
of
Mario
new stuff and a mix of retro stuff.
Yeah.
Like baseball versus that old arcade game.
Pull out the obscure stuff that people can't like or they won't think to practice on, right? Rad Racer, be the time trial there because people are going to expect Mario Kart. Go. I think it also has to reflect the entire Nintendo catalog, right? Like throughout the years, it's a celebration of the company.
Yeah, because the 2015 one, that was probably the best demonstration of Mario Maker you could have come up with.
Yeah. That was one I was trying to think of. When they did this, it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rudis McGee,
and they introduced the soccer component of Federation Force.
Yes, that's right.
So there was a high point and there was a low point.
There's nothing wrong with that. What are you talking about? Anyways,
you know what I mean.
McGee, I'm hoping Marty can help me out. I'm from the Chicago suburbs. My wife and I, no kids included, would like to see the Smoky Mountains. Neither one of us has been out that way. Would you please be able to give some suggestions on where to go, such as Gatlinburg? I am sorry that it's kind of a vague question.
So, man, this is, I tell you what, because this is a totally a niche question, right? So I'm going to respond to you on Patreon. I'm going to send a message to you because I'm going to have lots of suggestions for things you need to do, places you need to eat, things you need to see, especially if you've never been there before. But just as a general rule of thumb, I would say if you're visiting that area, stay outside of Gatlinburg, visit Gatlinburg. All right. Don't stay there because it can be super expensive and crowded depending on what time you go. You can stay outside of the area, which is literally a 10-minute drive away, 15-minute drive away based on traffic for super, like a super discount, depending on where you go. There's tons of motels in a place called Pigeon Forge, which is directly.
Pigeon Forge is where we stayed when we were there last year.
It's also getting like super crowded too, but not as much as like you have to understand that Gatlinburg is built on the side of a mountain. All right. So there's the space is finite. And so there's definitely some places you want to hit to see some great scenery up there in the mountains. Depends on when you go. If you want to go in the fall and see the colors, or you can hit Cades Cove, which is it's just a nature drive through. You can get out and walk around and see all these like old pioneer houses and like a working mill that's still like they mill grain there, and it's a great area. I love that area. Grew up going there. I will send you a message and send you some links. But great question. I think it's a great trip for you to take. Definitely go ahead and put it on your calendar. I'll be sending you a message this weekend.
Nice. Thanks, Marty. All right, we got 3 voicemails. 4 actually, I think. So, or is
No,
it 3?
3.
No, it's 3. Okay,
3.
yeah, 3.
Hey, Dads, it's me, Andy P., a.k.a. The Informant. I just wanted to call and thank you. I received my signed copy of The Impact of Awada with the awesome poster and stuff, and just so excited. Thank you guys so much. Love the show. Keep doing what you're doing. And also, I just wanted to say that I've been playing some games from the backlog lately. Just recently got through Kaz and the Wild Masks, and then I hopped into Ukulele and the Impossible Lair, and just having like a Donkey Kong Country, feel there that I wanted to keep playing stuff like that. And man, I think I enjoyed Kaz and the Wild Mask more so than the Impossible Lair thus far, but just seemed more fun, more I don't know. Like it didn't waste my time as much. I feel like I keep having to repeat the same sections of the Impossible Lair. But thought to see what you guys thought. If there's any games like that, maybe like indie game that does it better than something that has a bigger budget. Anyway, keep up the great work. I'll be listening. Thanks again. Bye.
Those are fantastic Donkey Kong games, like in the vein of that. Impossible Lair, I think, is absolutely tremendous. Yeah, it does. It sort of doesn't honor your time, but at the same time, like when the levels change, because hey, it's covered in honey or covered in something else. Like I think that's such a unique functionality. I always love those games. The Mask game is really good too. Like that is such a like those are some really great Donkey Kong inspired games. Like you can feel the kind of heart of it there as well. Yeah. What was it we played recently? There was barrels in it. Frick, Marty, we were playing the game. What game was it? There was barrels. We were shooting barrels. Oh, Pepper Grinder. Pepper Grinder
Yes.
times feels Donkey Kong inspired ish in some weird areas. So that might be something, but it definitely not as far gone as those other twos that you referenced as well. So
I was thinking when he talked about games not respecting your time. Um, what was the one? Oh, it's short, but I felt like it could have been shorter. Gunbrella. I felt
Umbrella.
like there were a couple of sections there that were oddly clunky in the backtracking.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't feel right. Like it kind of almost took me out of the game. And another one too that I think, and I know that y'all disagreed with me when I said this, is I think the Messenger is also one that doesn't do a good job of respecting your time. Um, After it shifts into the 16-bit version and the game kind of opens up from, oh, this is straightforward to, oh, and now it's a Metroidvania. Like there's you feel like you're halfway through the game and you're not. Like you've got another 60-70% to play after it
Right.
opens up. And that just, I don't know. I didn't enjoy that as much.
That's fair.
Right, next one.
Hi, this is Tegan. My dad's birthday is on Thursday, and I wanted to know if you could wish him a happy birthday. His name is Christian, and if you could, that would be really great. Thank you.
100% we can, Tegan. Christian, happy birthday from the
Today, as we
entire
record.
today, right now as we record it. Of course, when he listens to it, it'll be another day, but like nonetheless, I digress. Happy birthday. Thank you for that message. Thank you for your daughter saying that. That is amazing that she sent that in.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We hope you have like such an awesome, tremendous day. Thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for
keeping the voicemails going.
Keeping the voicemails going. Thank you for there's like a weird sound going on in my office. I don't know what's going on right now. But yeah, thank you for just being such an awesome member of our community, keeping us up to date with what's going on in your life. We are, just thank you. Thank you. Hopefully you have an amazing, awesome day.
Voicemail sponsored by Christian.
Yep. We were thinking about just changing the voicemail line to
calling.
Christian's line.
Yes.
Hey guys, it's me, Christian. I was just calling to ask you a quick question. First, I'd like to say that it's my birthday today, so it's been a fantastic day being with my family, so I've enjoyed it very much. And just wanted to ask you, what's your favorite birthday memory related to getting video games? I'll tell you mine. It was when I was 11 years old, and I was super excited about my birthday because I knew that I was going to get what I've been asking for the longest time, which was going to be the Game Boy. And my parents didn't know this, but I had searched in their room to see what they were going to get me, and I found the green-colored Game Boy. And then as the day came for my birthday, I got my present, and it was like the best thing ever. They still to this day don't know that I found out before they gave it to me. But anyway, let me know what your guys' favorite birthday memory is. All right, guys. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Well, now that they've watched this or listened to this, they definitely know.
Yeah. I remember too. I believe when I was 16 years old, it was close to there, 16 or 17, was the birthday that I got Super Mario RPG for my birthday. And that was it was pretty close to that release. And then the other was I have a very distinct memory of playing GoldenEye with a ton of friends at my birthday party after it released. It was just like all night pizza, soda, GoldenEye over and over and over again. But it was great. Nobody, it was like time flew. So much fun.
Nice. For usually it's very hard for me to remember anything as far as getting video game wise for birthdays, because growing up, being the oldest and in that generation, I was the first, so it was like nobody wanted to buy me anything. I've talked about this before because of the whole Atari crash, so nobody wanted to buy anything when it came to new stuff. So if I got a game, I bought it myself. But when I got older, one of the things I remember, and I believe if I remember correctly, it was for my birthday / Father's Day, because my birthday is around Father's Day. It was a PlayStation 4 from my family. They got me for that, and that was certainly a shock because of how much those things cost, at the time. It's like this new system that I got for that. It just blew me away, and it was definitely memorable. And I know it doesn't happen all the time, so that's why that was definitely one to appreciate for sure.
My birthday's in late July, so I struggle to remember some of these things. But I have a pretty strong memory of I was a kid of 80s and 90s, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So you kidding me, right? Like that was the deal, right? And I have a pretty vivid memory of receiving Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, for one birthday. And that was just like
Nice.
that was the cake, like cake has happened. Here's your gifts, rip the gift open. And then it was like, and ran downstairs with the cartridge and had
Yeah.
like a bunch of kids like follow me downstairs. And like, let's just like, you slam the cartridge into the Nintendo and just start playing. And like, you're just down there forever. Right. And what feels like 5 minutes, but your parents are like, you've been there for
Oh,
nothing. I remember that.
say that last thing again. You kind of froze there.
Time just kind of slipped by, right? You were just so involved.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember that happening with Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo. Go over to a friend's house and play, and 4 hours later, it's past dinner time. You got to walk back over to the house. Those are great questions. Again, Christian, happy birthday. We appreciate you. Jesse, did you have one for my birthday?
I can't really think of anything because I'm sure I got games for my birthday when I was young, but when I started working in '88, and really at that point, if I wanted the game, I bought it, and people just stopped buying me games just because either it's not a game I would have wanted, or I already bought it. So it's just, and that still kind of goes to, how we gift today for birthdays and Christmas. Today, we really try to do non-gaming gifts just because, if we want the game, we just buy it. I do that. My son does that. So yeah, I don't really have any memories. Nothing specific.
Awesome. Great questions. Thanks for sending in voicemails and asking all these questions. We appreciate each and every one of you. And guys, I think that is a wrap for episode 476 of Nintendo Dads. We want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight. If you watched along or if you're listening with us and you listened all the way to the end of this show, thanks so much for supporting us. We want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, Solo Something, and our other 90 plus patrons who support the show. Also, a huge and special thank you to our 36.
I think Justin has something.
No, Marty, finish that sentence there. And I got one thing we have to remember.
Over 1,400 Twitch followers and 7,400, almost 7,500 YouTube subscribers. Yes, Justin.
I want to remind people, May 4th, Star Wars Dads, Episode 0, part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. Check it out. This is created by community members who are driving the show, taking the initiative. I've seen some behind the scene clips of the work they've been doing. It's amazing. Go support Star Wars Dads on your podcast catcher. Please do that now.
Yep. That was coming.
Okay.
I was getting there. It's okay. But anyway, what we're trying to say is, like, we're just thankful for everybody who helps us out. And you can even be a part of the community and end up starting a show, right? Just like the guys from Star Wars Dads, just like the guys from Dads After Dark and the Retro Logic family of podcasts. You can find feeds for all of those shows over on nintendodads.org, as well as YouTube videos and tweets, all of our social media, Patreon, Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch. And don't forget, check out our sponsors, Manscaped at manscaped.com, where you can get 20% off your order and free shipping with the code NINDADS. Also, factormeals.com, 50% off your first order with the code NINDADS50. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call into the Christian line at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. And reminder, wherever you download us in your favorite podcast app of choice or podcatcher of choice, if they have reviews, if they have star ratings or check boxes or whatever, do all of that for us and help people find the show by pushing us up higher on the charts. That's what that does. For me, for Justin, for Jesse, and Tim, we'll see you next time on Nintendo Dads. Bye-bye.
Check you later.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
You got to get your together. You know what I'm saying?